We'll be back to Brentford shortly for second half commentary. When we're done there, 4:30, Chelsea versus Liverpool in full on Premier League Sunday. Maurizio Pochettino takes charge of his first game proper for Chelsea. It's Liverpool reloaded, according to Jurgen Klopp. Our correspondent John Murray is in position. Afternoon, John.
Hello, Steve.
Absolutely no idea what to expect from these two.
No, but I can tell you that the name that I think is on the lips of everyone who's gathered here already is a young man who we won't see play today, and we don't know where his future lies. Moises Caicedo of Brighton and Hove Albion, and I can tell you that there's currently nothing further to report on his future destination. So yes, as I'm sure listeners will have picked up, that reports are now suggesting that he's very much more likely to land up here at Chelsea than he is at Liverpool, but it is still as it was on Friday morning, in that the only offer that has been accepted by Brighton is that from Liverpool of £111 million, which would be a new football transfer record between British clubs. But whether that changes or not, and whether we'll learn anything more when the two managers here speak before the match, we'll have to wait and see. But I would say, Steve, at one stage I thought it was going to be a little bit like Danny Baker's old sausage sandwich game, in that it was going to be either red shirt, blue shirt, or no shirt at all.
Very good. Very good. I suppose one thing it has done is other clubs who might have top central midfielders will now know exactly how much money Liverpool have in their pockets if indeed they don't get him.
Which doesn't necessarily mean to say that they'll now go and spend it,
no.
Of course. But yeah, there is definitely an argument to say that, yeah.
Yeah, so we get to see lots of new players, despite the fact we won't see Caicedo and, of course, a new man in the Chelsea dugout.
Yeah, that's right. He's on the front of the programme. I've got it here in front of me, the match programme. Maurizio Pochettino, former Tottenham manager, now dressed very much like a Chelsea manager in this photograph, actually, all dark blue and thumb up Chelsea scarf in his hand. So his first match as the manager of Chelsea in League or Cup against Liverpool. And you know, so much different, whether it's Pochettino, the captains, both teams will have a new captain, big change of personnel, certainly for Liverpool, certainly for Chelsea again. I just had a look on the match programme, actually, the other side of the match programme on the back. There are 29 players listed for Chelsea on there. And as has often been said, Maurizio Pochettino likes to work with quite a small squad. Well, he's not got that, despite all of the comings and goings. And he's also got injuries to deal with as well. So we know that Christopher Nkunku is going to be out for a matter of months. Wesley Fofana at the back, also out injured. And it just seems strange to me. You know, they've spent as much money as they have. So last summer, something like £250 million, the new owners. Then in January, even more than that, pushing up towards £300 million. And in this transfer window alone, millions and millions more. If they spend another 100 million plus on Caicedo, I think that would take it over 300 million in this transfer window. Yet they haven't really got an out-and-out goal scorer. They've got Romelu Lukaku, who's just totally out of the picture. They've signed Nicholas Jackson, 22 years old, so still, you know, relatively untried. Isn't that remarkable?
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised if, given all that, Jackson doesn't start. A player who...
That's what we're expecting.
Yeah, most listeners won't know that much about him. I don't think we know that much about him, to be completely honest. But the other thing we can't really predict is Liverpool's lineup, because they've got a lot of new players as well. Yeah,
Alexis McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai look like very good signings, I must say. And had they been able to bring in Moises Caicedo, you know, that would have been a really fresh and exciting looking midfield, as well as the fact Curtis Jones, who, you know, has come on quite strongly, I felt, last season, and also the youngsters as well that they've got, Harvey Elliott amongst them, Bajcetic, who's injured at the moment. You know, so the change goes on at Liverpool, and there are still goals in that team, without question, with Salah and Jota and Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Cody Gakpo. That's not a bad lineup. Chelsea would take 1 or 2 of them.
Absolutely. We're going to hear from Cody Gakpo before kick-off as well. John, thank you very much. John Murray, who will have Matt Upson with him for commentary. Very much looking forward to that. Chelsea versus Liverpool in full at 4:30.
More live Premier League football than anyone else.
5 Lives Premier League Sunday
with Steve Crossman.
Reaction on the way from the G-Tech Community Stadium after Brentford 2, Tottenham 2. We will try and bring some to you if we can before kick-off at Stamford Bridge. That's our focus now for 2 massive clubs who were a long way short of where they expect to be last season.
A 4-1 thrashing at Old Trafford last night means it's 8 defeats in 10 games for the Blues under Frank Lampard.
It was a harsh lesson, a reality for the players.
Liverpool's run is ended.
The loss for Liverpool leaves them 7 points off the Champions League positions.
They are consigned to play Europa League football next season.
Liverpool's problems continue.
Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson.
Fabinho.
Firmino.
N'Golo Kante.
Goalkeeper Edouard Mendy.
Chelsea's Kalidou Koulibaly has become the latest player to move to Saudi Arabia.
I think we are more in transition than Liverpool.
Everybody was asking for changes, rightly so, because things went really well and then not that well anymore.
I feel really good. I'm so excited to come back to the Premier League. I can't wait to start the competition.
We have this kind of new start with this Liverpool FC Reloaded, if you want.
Jota has given it to Salah, who scored another. He scored a hat-trick. Gakpo shoots, Gakpo scores from range as well. He had a go. Spectacular. The footballing gods had deemed that today was a day Alexis McAllister would hit a beauty. Sterling misses his kick. Still Sterling. Still and scores. Up towards Chilwell. How does he got that in? From the acutest of angles. James makes it 2-1. Composed finish by the Chelsea man.
There have been a succession of changes at these two clubs over the summer. Chelsea versus Liverpool in full on the way. Let's get the team news from correspondent John Murray.
Well, there are debuts for the new Chelsea signings, Jackson, Disasi and goalkeeper Sanchez, and also a debut for Levi Colwill, his first competitive appearance for Chelsea after he played on loan at Brighton so well last season. So the Chelsea team, Sanchez in goal, Disasi, Thiago Silva and Colwill, so 3 central defenders. James, the new captain, and Chilwell are the wing-backs. Enzo Fernandez with Carney Chukwuemeka and Conor Gallagher, and then Raheem Sterling and Nicholas Jackson. And as for Liverpool new signings, McAllister and Szoboszlai are both in the starting lineup in midfield. It's actually the same team that started Liverpool's final pre-season friendly against Darmstadt, and that is Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk the captain and Robertson, then McAllister and Szoboszlai, and then that front four, Salah, Jota, Diaz and Gakpo.
We've got Matt Upson alongside John Murray for commentary. That's our Matt Upson alarm. Good afternoon.
Happy new season, Steve.
Happy new season. Oh, there's a lot to get excited about here. No idea what's going to happen, though.
Goals.
Yeah, well,
From
you
how
know
I
so.
look at it, I look at the teams and I was just saying to John, there's got to be goals in this game. I mean, I look at the attacking players that Liverpool selected and the frailties that both teams have had of late, and you think this could be an exciting, high-scoring game.
Plenty of excitement. Couple of new captains as well. Virgil van Dijk, you could have predicted. What do you think about Reece James getting the armband at Chelsea?
Yeah, it makes sense for me, to be honest. You know, he's a real Chelsea player. He's been there for a long, long time. He's got the experience now, and he's now getting to that age where that responsibility could take a little bit more, you know, get a little bit more from him in terms of in the group. So I think that totally makes sense.
Right, let's hear from Liverpool. I was going to say striker Cody Gakpo, but he might well be on the left of a midfield three this afternoon. He's been telling the BBC's Victoria Turner where he thinks he fits into Liverpool's reloaded system.
I played as a 9 and I played also as an 8, so yeah, 2 different positions. But to be honest, I liked it. And yeah, I just have to develop every day and improving myself in both positions. So yeah, it's good for me to become a better player.
But what is your favourite position, if you had to choose one?
That's difficult to say. I always say that I just like to play, but yeah, I think from nature I'm more like an attacking player, so yeah, I have to say up front.
And many fans are debating what will be Liverpool's first choice front three. Jurgen Klopp has yourself, Nunez, Salah, Jota, Diaz. That's not a bad problem to have, is it?
No, that's not a bad problem at all. I think I think it's only good for the team. I think every player has to prove himself, and every player also has like different qualities, so we can use each game. So yeah, I think it's good for the team, and it will help us winning games.
Cody Gakpo. So what do you think then, John? Is it Salah, Jota and Diaz up front and Gakpo in the midfield?
Salah on the right, I think maybe Gakpo on the left and Diaz and Jota in the middle, but I think that's
Front
how they
four,
that's how they played it in their final pre-season friendly. So that's Liverpool, but actually we've got a little bit of intelligence on Chelsea in that Mauricio Pochettino, I've just been told in his pre-match interview, said that they will be 4 at the back. So the feeling now is that will be Disasi as the right back, Thiago Silva and Colwell as the central defenders, and then Chilwell at left back, and Reece James, who of course can play in there, Reece James alongside Enzo Fernandez as the two central midfielders. And then
has James played in there before then, John?
Yeah, he has, and he will actually play there for England. I think we've seen him slot into there for England, have we not? So then that would be Gallagher on the left-hand side, Sterling on the right, Chukwuemeka centrally behind Nicholas Jackson. I hope you're following all that.
I think so, just about. I mean, the first thing that strikes me, Matt, is that we know about the Moises Caicedo situation, and he wants to go to Chelsea by the looks of it, and they've got to match the bid from Liverpool and all that. But actually, looking at that Liverpool team, it doesn't half feel that they are missing a central midfielder like that, doesn't it?
Massively, massively, Steve. I think that's absolutely spot on. When I look at the team, and the word balance just screams out at me, and successful teams, and certainly successful Liverpool teams under Klopp, have had that balance right, and that ability to be solid, to shut up shop, to have the player in there that has the mindset to just want to defend at times and sit in and fill spaces and fill holes and block passes. They don't have that in the team, certainly not in the central area or in the wide attacking areas, and they've got a right back who likes to play as an attacking player. So you throw all that into the mix, and all of a sudden you do wonder where that balance is. So I agree. I think they're absolutely screaming out for a player like Caicedo. What a fit he would be into this team at the moment.
Because at the minute you've got Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gakpo, Diaz, Jota, Salah. You don't really have a defensive midfielder at all there.
No, there's not one.
Yeah,
there's not one. And you also look at the fullback positions. I think Robertson obviously stays home a little bit more, but Trent Alexander-Arnold, he just wants to go. I mean, his biggest skill set is when he's on the ball, when he's crosses, when he's making killer passes. We don't talk about him and his defensive side of the game very often, other than the fact that at times it's lacking. So that to me is a problem for Liverpool, and I think you could see Chelsea really try and exploit that today. They're brilliant going forward, Liverpool, but they are susceptible when they don't have the ball.
The other thing, John, that struck me from the teams is I can't remember the last time one of the absolute elite clubs in English football will have had as many as 6 English players in a starting lineup.
That's a very good spot, actually. We've been so intent on trying to work out exactly what the lineup was going to be. That's a really good point with James and Chilwell and Gallagher and Sterling. And Colwell, of course, who's very well thought of by Gareth Southgate, and actually did train with England at the end of last season before he then went off and joined up with the under-21s who won the tournament in Georgia.
There are so many unknowns about both of those teams, but particularly Chelsea, Matt. To be honest, the one I'm really looking forward to seeing is Chukwuemeka. There's lots of excitement about him.
Yeah, lots of excitement, like you said. Jackson, another one, seeing in the flesh for the first time for me what he brings. Is he pacey? What were his runs like in behind? Because for me, Chelsea really lacked that last season. I've watched them a lot, and they didn't have that pace or that energy or that directness. Certainly at home, and I think the supporters were really disappointed with how they performed. It was very lacklustre. So bringing that into the team with some young, fresh, pacey players like Chukwuemeka, like Jackson, I think is interesting from the club and from Mauricio Pochettino to pick them in the first game. It's such a big first game as well at home to Liverpool.
And also, I suppose, it's 6 English players and 3 of them have come through the Chelsea system as well. Has Pochettino got some work, Matt, to do? Not just to win hearts and minds with his Tottenham background, but also just to get the fans and the players on the same page again.
Yeah, totally. It's been a mess, Steve. There's no doubt about it. Any Chelsea fan that's come to Stamford Bridge last season will say to you that they've got no clue what's going on. The amount of times I walked away from this ground and hearing conversations as you do as you walk into the station or to your car, it's just head-scratching stuff. They couldn't believe what was going on the pitch, and it's been so disjointed. For many different reasons, change of ownership, the amount of players that have come in, and I think Mauricio Pochettino's first port of call is, let's just get some stability. Let me pick a team that has a system. Let's learn a system as a group of players. Then maybe we can tweak that and change that and tinker with that once we get that nailed down. So it makes sense to me if he is going with a back four, which John has the intel on, and he's adjusted Reece James into midfield. That to me is purely because, we need this stability of a back four. This is how we're going to play. If I lose a key player, I have to change it, then I'll just shift people out of position and not change a whole system just to accommodate different players.
One other little change that Pochettino has made, incidentally, I've been told, is that he's changed the dugouts round. Did you heard that?
Yes, I did hear that.
So what used to be the home dugout is now the away dugout, and vice versa.
Any reason behind that, John?
Apparently just to make little changes.
Not better view or anything like that?
Well, I think it's probably a worse view, actually. But just little things like that.
Okay.
What do they call them? The marginal gains?
That's the one. That's the one. Matt Upson, not the only one to describe Chelsea as a mess last season. Let's hear from Maurizio Pochettino. He knows that, and he says he wants us all to look at them differently now.
That is the impression in social media, or the fans, or the people outside of Chelsea. We need to change that impression. It's a big change. They need time, to settle here. People need time to settle in a big club like is Chelsea. But for me, now it's about to work also to create different vision and for the people to trust, to trust in the club again. I think we are more in transition than Liverpool because I am new here, and club is in 7 years, of course, that you can, to anticipate the transition. You can, see what is going to come. You can be ahead of the problems, and how I explain, when you have the back of the club, I think it's about after to be clever in how you are going to anticipate the situation or the problems that are coming. And even if we are in transition, people knows, the fan knows, and we cannot give the message that, okay, we are in transition. We need to win, and we need to be ready to win, and we are going to be ready to win against Liverpool, even if Liverpool is a really good team. The mentality for the player and the whole club is about to compete in the best way, to be strong and really believe in us and try to win.
That's Maurizio Pochettino. Players in the tunnel at Stamford Bridge. We'll hear in a second the reception they get as they come out. I am sure the Chelsea fans will be particularly loud for this new look team with their new manager, who we've just heard from. Some of the players who are not lining up in the tunnel have left Chelsea this summer. Mount, Azpilicueta, Pulisic, Aubameyang, Havertz, Hudson-Odoi, Kovacic, Loftus-Cheek, Kante, Felix and Mendy. Not counting Lukaku and Ziyech, who are still at the club but not training with them. Matt, they've got rid of a whole team.
Yeah. Well, it needed to, and I think that was one of the key issues. Graham Potter trying to spin far too many plates at this football club in terms of accommodating people into the group. It can't happen. It's disastrous, in my opinion, to have that many players and try to make something of it. I think they've been quite ruthless, which they've needed to be, but getting the right players in the door and getting the right balance to the team is the key for Pochettino.
We'll have reaction on the way from Brentford after their 2-2 draw with Tottenham Hotspur. We will bring you the managers at half-time at Stamford Bridge. Jurgen Klopp says Liverpool are reloaded, Chelsea under Pochettino rebooted. Full commentary with Matt Upson and correspondent John Murray.
And looking down, as I am, from right up at the back of the stand on the dressing room side of the ground, it really strikes you what a summer of change it has been for both of these clubs. New captains at the lead of both of the lines. So Reece James leading out Chelsea and Virgil van Dijk to his left leading out Liverpool. And lots of new faces there as well. And now Maurizio Pochettino emerges from the tunnel as well. The former Tottenham man is the new manager now at Chelsea. This is his first match in charge. Jurgen Klopp was standing there waiting for him at the top of the tunnel, and they embraced together. And there is the announcement of Maurizio Pochettino, and that is a warm reception. He's not Tottenham anymore, he's Chelsea. And they've given him a big hello, and he has indeed turned to his left and sat down in the seats to the left of the tunnel as you walk out. So that is the new dugout for the home side at Stamford Bridge. So there we are, new manager again for Chelsea. A raft of players come and gone. Liverpool with their new captain. Several great servants are no longer at Liverpool Football Club. So it does feel like something of a new chapter, Matthew Upson. Both clubs we associate with Champions League, both recent Champions League winners this season, neither of them are in it.
No, amazing, isn't it? That's the pain that they're going to feel from a season last season where neither team were happy with their finish, with their performances. And like Jurgen Klopp says, they've tried to reboot. Let's see how it goes today.
Well, there's a big welcome as well for the new captain to our right in the lower tier of the Matthew Harding stand. One of those massive blue Chelsea banners, which has written on it in huge white letters, Reece James, one of our own. And there is a picture of Reece James, huge picture, smiling face, as that is carried across the heads of the supporters, and he's got that Champions League, the European Cup in his hands in the picture on that banner. So that is the approval of the Chelsea supporters. I have to say, Matt, you know, if we discussed this with Steve in the advance of the game, I feel that if his career had advanced and gone really as it should have done, Mason Mount, I would have said, would have been the new captain of Chelsea. But he's now at Manchester United.
Incredible, isn't it? But, you know, all they can do is look at what's here and now. I agree with you. That seems strange to me. But Reece James, I think, is a huge favourite of the fans here. He's Chelsea through and through. And for me, it just makes perfect sense that he's given the armband.
So the teams then. Chelsea going with a back four. But before we do that, there is going to be a moment to remember one of the great Chelsea men, very, very fondly thought of by everyone who had anything to do with John Hollands.
Which will begin and end with the blowing of the referee's whistle.
Chelsea fans singing "There's only one John Hollands," and rightly done by Chelsea to remember him. You must have crossed paths, Matt. I certainly did, and indeed with his son Chris, who I worked with, and my dealings with John, as for so many, you only have good things to say about him. So Chelsea and Liverpool, new start, new season at Stamford Bridge, and just looking at how the teams are lining up, and despite Maurizio Pochettino saying it would be a back four, that does look like it's three central defenders,
John,
to me.
We can't have another discussion about formations, please.
Instead, we'll look at the players taking a knee before the start of the match. Mainly applause. I think I did detect one or two boos in there as well. And there is the whistle, and a brand new season begins here at Stamford Bridge. And just looking to see how it settles down as BBC World Service listeners join us for the first time for a Sunday Premier League game this season. So welcome to you joining us on 5 Live on our Premier League Sunday. And as well, of course, if you're on the move, you can listen to 5 Live, listen to the live radio via BBC Sounds. And this does look like three central defenders
100%
to me.
a back three, which is what we thought. We had our heads turned, John.
We did.
We didn't back ourselves, did we?
We didn't. No, we've done that before, Matt.
We have. Yeah.
Why do we never learn from our mistakes?
Go with your gut.
Yeah, so for listeners to the World Service, the feeling was it was going to be three central defenders. Then there was a suggestion James might be in midfield. But it is Chelsea with a three at the back. I'll run you through the teams in full in a moment. But Liverpool win it back. Here's Gakpo through the middle. And then Jota's there as well. Liverpool, red shirts with the white trim, playing from left to right towards the Matthew Harding end. Here's Mo Salah, former Chelsea man, remember, briefly. Salah playing it back towards the edge of the area. It's played in from the right-hand side by the newly arrived McAllister. His first contribution in a Liverpool shirt in a competitive match, and a little glancing header from Jota, took it well wide of the mark. Goal kick. Matt Upson.
Yeah, it's interesting when you see Jota in that role because he's not particularly big in stature, but I do like him centrally when he's in the box. I think he finds space really well, and he gets his head on the end of things as well, which is a bit surprising.
Here's one of the new Chelsea signings, the young man from Villarreal, Nicholas Jackson. And then he finds Chukwuemeka with a burst into the box, the England under-20 international who started out at Aston Villa, but he's been given his chance by Mauricio Pochettino at the start of this season. But Salah wins the ball back down here against Gallagher, and then Gallagher does very well and gets himself back in front of Salah, in between Salah and the ball, and manages to wrestle back possession. Well played, Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, an apologetic hand up as well, because he knows he just dwelled on the ball too long so early in this first fixture against Liverpool. There's no time on the ball. They're going to want to press as hard as they can, as quick as they can. He just took too long, but he did so well to win it back.
So Chelsea with debutant Robert Sanchez, summer signing from Brighton, in goal. Kepa's not involved, by the way. Kepa Arrizabalaga. It seems that he will be going to Real Madrid on loan, if indeed he's not already in Madrid, the Spanish international. So a change in goal for Chelsea. Liverpool in possession. Here's Alexander-Arnold on the right hand side, drills a volley across towards the back post. That's headed back towards the edge of the penalty area. Luis Diaz was after that, and also over there on the far side, Jota, and the ball's out of play for a throw-in to the home side to Chelsea. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. So Sanchez in goal, Disasi, Thiago Silva and Colwell are the three Chelsea central defenders. Levi Colwell making his competitive debut for Chelsea after impressing at Brighton last season. I know you saw a lot of him, Matt, and were impressed. As Chelsea sweep the ball forward out towards the left-hand side, Chilwell as the left wing back, and then a high foot from Chukwuemeka catches Konate. That's going to be an early yellow card for Chukwuemeka. Going in there with the foot high, caught Konate in the chest. Yellow card from referee Anthony Taylor.
Well, it's just a poor choice. Chukwuemeka caught up in the hype of the early stages of the game. Eyes are on the ball the whole time, but he's got to have that peripheral awareness to know that Konate's coming for that. He should be able to see him at the corner of his eye, and he leads with his foot when he's going with his head, and his foot is very high. I mean, it is a harsh yellow card so early on. You know, I would say if they didn't have the remit, the referees, that would just be a talking to and just calm down and on we go. But the start of this season, bookings are going to be given out for that type of challenge.
So it is Chelsea, and it is Raheem Sterling who's herring after the ball on the halfway line, but it bounces back for the visitors, for Luis Diaz. Gives it towards the left-hand side to Gakpo. Gakpo advances quite slowly. He's got support out there as well from Robertson. And now back to Gakpo again near the left corner of the penalty area, turns back out into the full-back position, the Chelsea right-back area. Gakpo goes for the right-footed cross. That's deflected. Ball bounces into the D. A stretching header away, but it doesn't clear the penalty area, doesn't clear the danger from Thiago Silva. However, Nicholas Jackson was back in there, and there's a challenge goes in on Gakpo, who goes down. The ball runs though. Liverpool continue. Anthony Taylor waves play on. He's actually listening to some advice there, I can see. Liverpool with it on the left-hand side, and Luis Diaz curling the ball back centrally. He's okay, Gakpo. He's back up on his feet after that challenge in winning the ball from Jackson. And Liverpool go back towards the halfway line.
I mean, they should have made so much more of that, Liverpool. It was so poor from Jota. He wins the ball. It's just a pass. I think it was either Gakpo in that wide position was on, so easily on with a little slip ball to be through on goal. And he just held onto the ball too long and didn't release it.
Yes, Szoboszlai. Oh, lovely, into the penalty area. And eventually the shot was snatched away from him. It looked as though it was going to be Szoboszlai, but actually coming across, Diogo Jota, I think, got to the ball first and rather slashed it well wide.
Yeah, big opportunity, lovely run. Szoboszlai driving run, past about 4 Chelsea players. Mauricio Pochettino won't be happy with that. Quite static defending from those Chelsea players, but lovely intent from Szoboszlai. Just that aggressive nature to drive at players and commit them with the ball. But he went past them far too easily, John.
Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. BBC 5 Live and the World Service. So the Chelsea lineup: Disasi, Thiago Silva and Colwell. Reece James as the right wing back, Chilwell on the left, Fernandes and Gallagher, it seems, as the two central players. Chukwuemeka, Sterling and Nicholas Jackson. And Liverpool with Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson. Very familiar defence. Be interesting to see how much Alexander-Arnold gets himself forward and whether he plays occasionally in the midfield position, as he did towards the end of last season with good effect. McAllister and Szoboszlai, and then Salah, Jota, Diaz and Gakpo. And already, Matt, we're seeing a lot of movement from those three. Salah clearly staying mainly on the right hand side, but lots of movement involving the other three. Here's Gallagher, the fair-haired Gallagher, with his hair swept back, playing it to James, and James goes for a long pass downfield that Sterling chases, but the cover was there from the new Liverpool captain, Virgil van Dijk, replacing Jordan Henderson. Virgil van Dijk, who is just the third permanent Liverpool captain in 20 years, after Henderson and Gerrard before him. Free kick to Chelsea on the halfway line after Enzo Fernandez was fouled, so free kick that Chelsea play back into their defensive third. So Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0 after our first commentary match on this Premier League Sunday. Finished Brentford 2, Tottenham 2, and with the late finish we're yet to hear any interviews, but we will have interviews from that match at half-time. Here's Chilwell down the left-hand side, but Konate does well, actually shields the ball from him near the corner flag. Konate does well, actually plays it through the legs of Chilwell, and that sets Liverpool away towards the halfway line, where actually there's a blatant shove in the back of Szoboszlai from Jackson, and Jackson just squaring up in there and has a finger wagged at him, and actually Alexis McAllister has a word with referee Taylor as well as he runs past him. Long ball forward for Liverpool. Luis Diaz now, who had his injury problems last season. Diaz though plays the ball infield straight to an opponent, straight to Conor Gallagher, and Chelsea have got it back. Blue shirts, blue shorts, white socks. No advertiser's name, no sponsor's name on the shirts. There's been a bit of a problem with that. Seems like Chelsea sometimes have problems everywhere you look, but I presume they will be able to get a new shirt sponsor at some point, you'd like to think. Here's Thiago Silva with the ball at the back, playing it out towards the right-hand side to Disasi. Pass to Reece James, right out there on the far side. Lovely mild afternoon, it's dry here in West London, and it's short-sleeved shirt order in amongst the stands at Stamford Bridge. Forward from James to Sterling, back to James, whose crosses deflected behind, an outstretched foot from Virgil van Dijk concedes the first corner of the match to Chelsea.
Well, that's the link up they're looking for. Reece James on the overlap. I mean, it's been a very scrappy opening 10 minutes or so. A lot of mistakes in terms of simple passes or turnovers with the ball, but Chelsea now have the first corner.
Still waiting for the opening goal of the season here. The last 4 matches between these two teams have finished 0-0, Matt.
You're selling it to me, John.
Well, but you've already guaranteed us
always.
They won't.
Always.
Corner is taken short. Back to James, puts his foot on it. James beats Alexander-Arnold, left-footed ball in. Disasi was waiting for it. It was headed away though before it got to him. Thiago Silva on the edge of the box, bounces out. Chilwell plays it over the top. That is headed away, but not great distance. And then Enzo Fernandez is challenged, sent flying. He was jumping for it. Question was whether he was caught and sent off balance when he was in the air, but referee Taylor says no. So Chelsea with Sterling play it down the left, but Liverpool are able to deal with that, and it is chipped and put out of play for a throw-in near the halfway line. The home supporters feeling that Enzo Fernandez was fouled, but Anthony Taylor disagreed.
He just jumped early, John, and when you jump that early, the player underneath you, unless they're going to jump and compete for the ball, if they just stand there, you end up just going over the back of them, which is exactly what happened. It looks bad, but you know, Chelsea retained possession, which is why I think Anthony Taylor just waved play on. Had they lost the ball, I think he'd have just blown for a foul.
Chelsea come again. Sterling now with a bit of space. Through to Enzo Fernandez. Shot is blocked by a sliding Konate, who went to ground but slid perfectly. Perfect timing from the central defender into the path of the Enzo Fernandez shot.
He started the game well, Konate.
He has, but now Gakpo is looking to get onto this. He's away from Gallagher from the angle, plays it back, and he played it behind Salah. Salah though still in on it, curls, hits the bar, and the ball bounces up and over and into the lower tier of the Matthew Harding stand. Well, Gakpo, I felt he was almost one-on-one with the goalkeeper and decided to pass it behind Salah on the edge of the area, who did well to make something out of that.
Bizarre. I mean, we did call it as an open game, John, I will say, because neither team are settled, certainly not in terms of shape and defensively. And we're seeing this in the opening 12 minutes or so. I mean, it's a lovely effort from Salah with that curling right foot, just clips the joint of the post and the crossbar right in that top corner and skims over. But it really should have been a better pass from Gakpo. If it had been a quality ball, you're sure that Salah would have just had a simple roll it into one of the corners, and it's 1-0 Liverpool.
Since he's been a Liverpool player, Mo Salah has always scored in the first Premier League match of the season. 6 seasons, he's always scored. A little bit like I was watching Callum Wilson yesterday, who has always scored for Newcastle in the first match of the season and did so yesterday. Mentioned Brentford 2, Tottenham 2 in our first commentary match. Certainly I was listening to Ian Dennis and Clinton Morrison, and really eventful first half there. But 2-2 the final score. We'll hear from James Maddison of Tottenham at half-time. Aberdeen 1, Celtic 3 was the full-time score in the early kick-off in the Premiership, and we'll hear from Brendan Rodgers at half-time. And the latest scores, by the way, the matches in their latter stages, the 2 3 o'clock kick-offs, the 2 Edinburgh clubs who are involved in Europe in the week. Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0 and Motherwell 1, Hibernian 0 are the latest scores in those matches. So, as Chelsea fans enjoy, as they always do, singing their Steven Gerrard song, the famous incident in the match involving Liverpool and Chelsea, and Liverpool fans try to respond to that. Chelsea come forward on the field. Here is Nicholas Jackson, the Senegal World Cup player. 13 goals for Villarreal last season. £32 million Chelsea have paid for him, and he starts as their centre forward. Still the Chelsea move continues with Chilwell, but Chilwell cut inside, had the ball nipped away from him, and Alexander-Arnold, it bounces off Alexander-Arnold, and Chelsea have got it back now, but it's been taken back by Chukwuemeka towards the halfway line. He's looking for support, which is there from Colwell, and then Chelsea comfortable in possession, and the ball is played out to the right hand side, and then back to Thiago Silva in centre field. Thiago Silva, contract for another season at the age of 38. Some things do stay the same. Thiago Silva just allowing the ball to run. Ben Chilwell was caught there by Salah, but play continued, and he
still looks good, doesn't he, Thiago Silva, in terms of physically for his age, the way he manages the game as well. The experience is superb. I think Sterling looks quite good at the moment as well, John. First I've seen of him this season. He looks a little bit fitter, a little bit brighter. I think he's a player that Chelsea really need to get something from this season.
Well, he was joint top scorer last season, but that wasn't saying a great deal for Chelsea. 9 goals in all competitions, so he was joint top scorer with Kai Havertz, which was the lowest total for a Chelsea top scorer in all competitions since Ian Hutchinson back in 1974-75, who also scored 9. Hands up everyone who paid to go and watch Ian Hutchinson play.
Were you there
Chelsea.
for any of them, John?
I have to confess, I'm too young for that, Matt.
Didn't see him in the flesh.
Hope Mark Chapman's listening. Here's Colwell playing it forward for Gallagher. Colwell now taking the ball in field. It's great hope that he will have a big future. Brighton wanted him, actually, but Chelsea said no. Sterling, ball down the right. James, nice ball into the middle. Jackson was after it, but goalkeeper Alisson came out. They all got there at the same time, Konate as well, and the Liverpool goalkeeper got enough on that.
Well, that's the link up again. That's their best hope at the moment, Chelsea. You debate in your mind why it went to a back three. Is it because they're concerned about Liverpool's shape? I think it's to be more offensive and getting Sterling and Reece James in together. That for me is a big part of Chelsea's plan, and it's worked twice in this game already.
Matt, you've cursed Raheem Sterling, who had the ball turned, set off towards the penalty area. He had options either side of him, James and Jackson, and he badly overhit a pass straight through for a goal kick.
Yeah, but I'm just watching the replay of the one before that, John. Let's focus on that one, shall we? Which was a nice little 1-2. Really got in behind Reece James with the first time cross, didn't even look up, just knew the area, just to fizz that ball across the 6-yard box. It was between the 6-yard box and penalty spot, and Jackson just wasn't quite decisive enough to get across the face of Van Dijk and get a little touch on it. Lovely play wide though.
Yeah, that's really positive from Reece James. That's what he does, from right wing back as well. But Liverpool now break forward with Salah. And Disasi was able to come across the French World Cup player just as Salah was into the penalty area, and Disasi just went safety first, booted it into the stand.
Yeah, what a ball. Is that Schloboslai with that pass? I'm not too sure. He saw how he's kept that in on the touchline, just hooked it down the line to Salah. He just couldn't quite control the ball quick enough. If he got it down and got his head up, Jota was completely free in the box for a tap-in.
Well, you and I have been fortunate, haven't we, to see Dominik Szoboszlai on a number of occasions, certainly playing for Hungary. I suspect you might have seen him live for RB Leipzig as well.
Yeah.
He is a talented player, really talented.
Well, we always enjoy the Hungary matches, John, don't we?
Yes, he hasn't got Soloy and Salah anymore.
Szoboszlai?
It's just Szoboszlai these days, watching him. Here's Salah. Salah now on the right-hand side running it. Colwell. Oh, what a pass! Oh, and what a finish! Luis Diaz sliding in! But the creation from Salah, you won't see many better passes than that all season, and Diaz was on the end of it, sliding in foot first. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1, and that's an early setback for Mauricio Pochettino, but that is just what Jurgen Klopp wanted to see.
Wow, that's just power football for me. Direct, decisive. It's with Alisson, gets played out, couple of little passes in the midfield. And I think it's McAllister just sees a little dink into Salah's feet, and once he's faced up with Levi Colwill, he just gets inside, and this pass is just exquisite. It's got a channel of about a metre, maybe less than a metre of accuracy to hit that in terms of the width of where that pass can thread through. It goes diagonally between Colwill, Thiago Silva and the wrong side of Disasi for a sliding Diaz just at the far post. Any kind of solid contact on this ball which he gets, he just steers it past Robert Sanchez in goal. But what an exquisite pass from Mo Salah. Absolutely world-class piece of play.
And well finished actually by Diaz as well. As I say, he's had his injury problems last season, but he's scored pre-season. In fact, all of the Liverpool forwards have been scoring goals pre-season, and he's brought that into when it actually matters and made it Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. And that's the first goal in 5 matches involving these two clubs. With the extra time in the 2 finals of 2022, it's something around 500 minutes of football, and finally they've produced a goal.
Well, I'm off the hook for saying there'd be goals today.
Yeah.
So
I'm
pleased about that. But honestly, if you were to typify a type of Liverpool goal, that was it, John. Not a lot of fuss, not a lot of interchange or big long passage of possession. 1 or 2 passes, bomb out wide, and then a wide player makes something happen, because they've got real talent and guile in that area of the pitch. And Salah certainly showed that there. Brilliant play from him.
Well, that is worth staying up for tonight, for Mark Chapman's Match of the Day 2, to see the pass from Salah from the right-hand side, beat Colwill. Is there anything Colwill could have done about that, do you think?
Not really. I mean, the only thing you can say is just make sure he stays wide. But it's hard because he's shuffling back. He's got his body shape's great because his shoulders are saying, I want you wide. But Salah never really buys it. He just flirts with coming inside onto that left foot all the time. So all you can do is over-exaggerate from Levi Colwill's position. And if you get done on the outside, you get done on the outside. It's fine because he's on his right foot there, Salah, going away from the goal.
Oh, Konate has put his hand in the back of Chilwell inside the Liverpool penalty area. Chilwell went to ground, and referee Taylor says no. Well, you can hear the home fans who are interested in that. Chilwell was herring after the ball. Konate's hand clearly in his back as he came across. Chilwell gone down too easily.
Spot on the decision. Far too easily he's gone down. There's contact, but minimal. Defender's going to come across and make some form of contact, but there's nowhere near enough contact. Chilwell knows that, and he throws himself to the floor. Good decision from Anthony Taylor.
There'll be some who say that should have been a penalty.
No chance, John.
Without question.
Are you one of them, John?
Well, after seeing it again in slow motion, I'm with what you say, but I can almost hear in my mind's eye on 5 Live Robbie Savage coming on at half-time and perhaps taking the opposing view. Or maybe Chris Sutton.
Maybe.
Gallagher playing it downfield for Jackson. Jackson is onto this one, and then in comes Szoboszlai. Jackson had flicked the ball away from him. Szoboszlai couldn't stop himself, blocked and brought down Jackson, and it's a free kick to Chelsea on the left-hand side. 1-0 Liverpool lead.
Yeah, I thought that had potential for a yellow card, this one from Szoboszlai. It is clumsy. I don't think it is a yellow card, but I think Anthony Taylor just trying to manage this game at the moment. It's always got it in the locker to boil over a little bit, hasn't it? And I think he's just trying to referee it sensibly, trying to, with the remit of what the referees are trying to be firmer, but also keep control of the game.
There's always a bit of feeling, isn't there, Chelsea and Liverpool? The great rivalry that has grown up between these clubs. Two sets of supporters aren't terribly fond of one another. Free kick, Chilwell then to take it in. Chilwell curling it in, it's over the top of Thiago Silva. Konate for Liverpool got his head to it, and the ball just bounces up in the air off his head and is caught by Alisson. So it is Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Our Premier League Sunday, the first Sunday of action all the way through the Premier League season. On a usual Premier League weekend, at least 2 Premier League commentaries on 5 Live every Sunday, and as well on a Saturday, sometimes more than that. And Sports Extra 2, we still, as we always have done, bring you more Premier League commentaries than anyone else. Salah playing the ball back towards the edge of his penalty area, passing it out to Virgil van Dijk, and then Alexander-Arnold, who is actually in that midfield role as he receives it from Van Dijk, and then it's passed back from the far side from goal scorer Diaz all the way back to Alisson, who took the ball out of his penalty area into the left back position, flicked on by the head of the goal scorer Luis Diaz, and then Robertson was very tight on Sterling over there, and the ball is out for a throw-in to Chelsea just inside the Liverpool half. We are midway through the first half, and Liverpool with their noses in front, even for the first match of the season, just felt there was quite a lot of pressure involved in this game, quite apart from the Moises Caicedo side of things. And incidentally, if you've not heard, there's no further news on that, as good work from Colwell. Now Jackson shoots across the face of goal and wide, beat his man on the edge of the penalty area, but rather scuffed the shot from an angle on the left side of the box. He's saying it took a deflection, it should have been a corner, but referee Taylor immediately dismisses that.
Yeah, lovely play from Levi Colwill, and he had a little square ball on offer here. He's lashed at this a little bit, Jackson. He's got himself half a yard, but he's just swung that left foot, technically never looked comfortable in hitting the target, and I think it was Fernandes that just made a little run onto the penalty spot, and if he just squared that, he was in a great position just to slot that home. But really good play from Levi Colwill to get out of a tricky situation, and really good pass inside the pitch.
Gallagher does well in the centre circle. Gallagher takes the ball away, and then he's fouled by Szoboszlai again, and the Chelsea fans are onto Szoboszlai for accumulation of little fouls, but free kick only. I see on our screen up here in the stand that the television cameras have picked out a couple of important Americans now in the footballing world. John W. Henry is here from the Fenway Sports Group, the Liverpool owners, and Todd Bowley from the consortium that owns Chelsea. They're both here in the stands looking down. Todd Bowley, who might be about to spend another 100 million plus, maybe over 150 million if they sign both Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia, which is certainly being suggested today might be the case, as Disasi loses out on the halfway line, and Liverpool sweep forward, and the ball is played across from Diaz, and Salah's in here, and Salah shoots. That was blocked by Thiago Silva's legs, who just got himself into the right position inside the penalty area, but the players were drawn to the 2 Liverpool men who broke away. That meant Salah had space, and it's something of a surprise, I must say, that Salah didn't end up putting that in the back of the net as Chelsea win a free kick on the halfway line.
Well, you thought once he had his first touch, Salah, onto his left foot, you know exactly where this ball's going. He just loves that curler into the far post, but I have to say, it hitting Thiago Silva isn't by luck. He has really read that, all his experience. He knows the line that he needs to block there. He knows he's got to block that far post, and is in absolute perfect position just to get a block on that shot, which had beaten Sanchez and keeps it out of the net. But that left side, I'm looking at Disasi a couple of times now, he's got far too tight to Diaz or whether it's Gakpo in a certain area, and they're just spinning him and they're getting in behind. He's got to get those distances right, otherwise he's just going to get exposed.
Almost Jedi-like, wasn't it, from Thiago Silva?
Yeah.
And you see him sprint back into a position on the edge of the penalty area, and lo and behold,
it's that awareness,
he
John.
blocks the ball.
He lined himself up just inside the far post and the line of where Salah was, knowing that he just wants to curl it into that area, and there he is, just blocking the ball. Looks like luck, doesn't it? But it certainly isn't.
But no, the force is strong in this one. Here's Sterling now up against Alexander-Arnold, who's almost left back against his England teammate, and then two of them go in. All right, tussle for that. Sterling went to ground. Alexander-Arnold stepped in, knocked the ball out to throw into Chelsea, and then Alexander-Arnold trots all the way back across into his right back position, and then another throw into Chelsea down the right hand side. So almost half an hour played here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1, and Luis Diaz scoring the goal. Pressure on both teams, both managers coming into this, even though it's Mauricio Pochettino's first match as the Chelsea manager. And actually he's dressed rather as he did as the Tottenham manager, isn't he? Dark suit, dark shirt, dark tie. We saw an awful lot of that from him in his Tottenham years.
Does that get the Murray seal of approval?
I think so. You can't really go wrong with that, can you? I remember him taking almost all of it off.
He's playing it safe,
Amsterdam,
though, John.
Yes. Yeah, do you remember when he went sliding on his knees on the pitch in Amsterdam? Yeah. And Jurgen Klopp's gone black t-shirt, baseball cap, and it's his 434th game for Liverpool. But just coming into this, Matt, just felt if things didn't go well for Liverpool today.
It's interesting watching him in his technical area at the moment as well, on the regulations and referees. That is a huge part of the remit from the referees in terms of the fourth official and coaches in that technical area really behaving themselves appropriately.
Yes, Eddie Howe was talking to us about that last night, how he'd worked it between him and Jason Tindall.
Okay, yeah, one at a time.
Yeah.
Is there a cue?
He almost said they'd been practicing it. He didn't say that. But here is Alexander-Arnold in midfield. Alexander-Arnold's pass, it's through to Salah. He's one-on-one with Sanchez, and of course Salah scores. It's 2-0 to Liverpool. And Mohamed Salah continues his record of always scoring in the first Premier League match of the season for Liverpool. 2-0 now. It's a long way back for Mauricio Pochettino's Chelsea already in this match.
Wow, it's just too good from Liverpool, and it's too easy, really. I think there's a hint of offside here, John. I'm looking at the replay, and to me, it looks a fraction offside. We'll soon see. But nonetheless, the time and space that Trent Alexander-Arnold has here to get his head up, and we know he can pick a pass. I mean, he's one of the best at finding that pass, and he can just slide that ball. Levi Colwill is really struggling in that left side of three against Salah, because he's ending up 1v1 with Salah all the time and getting that balance, because Salah's pulling between him and Chilwell. It's knowing who the responsibility is, who's going to go with him, and he just times his run. And I think he's a little bit early here, John, and he could be offside.
Well, we've got the VAR screen in front of us here.
It's Disasi.
Second goal, possible offside.
Disasi looks the deepest, doesn't he?
He's past Colwell, but Disasi further over on the right-hand side of the Chelsea back line. He's a little further back.
Yeah, but I'm also looking at Colwell's right foot that's up in the air. That's quite deep, that foot. And if they take the measurement off that back stud of Levi Colwill...
it's offside. It's offside. The goal is ruled out. And you will hear the reaction very shortly. And once that appears on the screens that are hanging from the roof of the stand here, not got it yet. So people have heard. There we are, there's the rectangle in the air, and there's the reaction from Chelsea supporters. That's a relief, a reaction of relief. Salah's goal ruled out for offside, a tight one. And it's still Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1 only.
I mean, we spoke a lot about Liverpool's midfield, didn't we, before the game, and the team, 7 attacking players really in that starting 11. But it's Chelsea for me that have struggled in that area of the pitch to really get enough pressure, get the right balance, distances when they haven't got the ball, to not allow Liverpool the freedom to get their head up, pick passes. Once they can do that with their front four, you're banging trouble, John, to be honest, because the quality they have is phenomenal. And 2 or 3 occasions already in this game, they've just carved Chelsea open.
So this is Mauricio Pochettino's Chelsea, who've played a back four all the way through pre-season, but have come into the first match that matters and played 3 central defenders, and Liverpool are picking the passes through it.
I just find that hard to comprehend a little bit. I just find it quite difficult when the team's been struggling with continuity, and you then adopt a foundation of formation all pre-season, and your first game is completely different. I mean, it's tough enough getting that with this group of players at the moment.
There's a little dust-up here between Jota and Enzo Fernandez, and the two of them have faced up together. I think words were said, and Anthony Taylor, who wasn't too far away, has picked up on that, and he's booked them both. Yellow cards. In fact, the heads were quite close together when they squared up. So yellow card for Enzo Fernandez, yellow card for Diogo Jota.
I didn't see too much what Jota did wrong there. Did you?
And that's what it said.
It was a bit more of a square up from Fernandez more than Jota. That's quite a harsh booking for him.
Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. Liverpool thought they were 2-0 up, but Salah's goal was ruled out. But a lovely pass from Alexander-Arnold from the midfield position, and then Konate and Chukwuemeka have collided. That's a free kick to Chelsea. They took it quickly, and the ball's been put out of play, and there's a suggestion here that it was blocked. Chilwell, I think, is saying that the taking of the free kick was blocked by Szoboszlai, who himself is getting very close to a yellow card.
Yeah.
You see, that actually is one of the areas under the new regulations and the directives, that if you block the taking of a free kick, and the players know this, that is a yellow card.
It is. It should be. It should be a yellow card, and he stood 5 yards away from the ball, and when Conor Gallagher tried to play it quickly, which he's perfectly entitled to do, Szoboszlai stuck his leg out and blocked it, and he's 5 yards away from the ball, so he should just be retreating and not interfere.
Enzo Fernandez, Chelsea could have been 2-0 down, it's only 1-0. Now Sterling to the edge of the area. Sterling couldn't find the pass across the box, looking for Jackson, and Konate was able to just take one step forward and clear it away. But that was bright again from Sterling. Gallagher through the middle. Sterling, who's playing mainly rightish in the forward line.
Yeah.
So Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1, and half-time approaching, 10 minutes away. Mind you, that could be 20 minutes away. And at half-time, we will hear from James Maddison of Tottenham after their 2-2 draw with Brentford, and we're going to hear from Thomas Frank as well, the Brentford manager, who will be appearing on 5 Live at half-time. But this is 5 Live and the World Service. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. Still Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 1, Hibs 0. Can't be too far away from full-time in those matches. The final round of the Women's Open continues on Sports Extra, the hundreds on Sports Extra as well. And confirmation, Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0, and actually it finished Motherwell 2, Hibs 1. So Motherwell 2, Hibs 1, the final score, with Adam Lafondra getting a late goal for Hibernian, but Wilkinson and Beerath scoring for Motherwell. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1, and Thiago Silva playing it forward towards Gallagher, and back to Thiago Silva again, who just taps it forward to Enzo Fernandez. Quite a number of the Chelsea players, another of the changes, have changed their numbers this season. Enzo Fernandez is one of them. He was number 5 last season, but now he's number 8, and here he is, big white number 8 on the back of that blue shirt, playing it forward towards Reece James. James coming back and then knocking it all the way back towards the halfway line to Disasi.
He's more of an 8 than a 5, to be fair to him, isn't he, John?
Yeah. Colwell now to Chilwell on the left flank. Chukwuemeka, he gets it back from Jackson. Chukwuemeka 30 yards out, finds the space for James on the right hand side. James cross hits Konate, who's able to adjust and clear it away, comes back to James, another dangerous cross. Van Dijk is there this time for Liverpool on the edge of the 6-yard area to volley it up in the air and back out towards the right hand side, but James was underneath it, did well in a tight area to control, and James now finds Sterling near the dead ball line. Sterling does well, wriggles free, and the ball across is put over his own crossbar by Alexander-Arnold for a corner. But excellent work from Chelsea, from James, from Sterling.
Well, it's that pair again, John. This is the threat. Sterling uses his body superbly well here, feels the contact, and he just backs in. The defender knows he can't push too hard, otherwise he'll go down for a penalty. Jackson just couldn't get across his defender.
This Chelsea corner is headed away by Konate from near the penalty spot. Back out to the right-hand side. Cross comes over, looking for Jackson, but that was headed away by Szoboszlai. Comes back in. Disasi scores! As it came back to him, the Frenchman, on his competitive debut for Chelsea, said thank you very much, and with his right foot managed to force it in, and Chelsea have the equaliser. A goal on his competitive debut for Chelsea from Axel Disasi, and it's Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1.
Well, what a massive moment for him, both collectively and personally for Chelsea. It's a big goal, this. They're not looking that much of a goal threat, to be honest, and Liverpool really did feel they had this under control. It's a clearing header, but it's a really intelligent header back into the box. I think it's by Chilwell. It gets partially cleared away from Szoboszlai, and Chilwell just cleverly nods it in the air back to the middle of the 6-yard box line. And Disasi, it's just stayed in there, John. He hasn't disappeared, he's just waited in that area, and he can just see that little gap the ball's going to drop. It's a scruffy finish, but he doesn't care. He just throws his leg at it and kind of just scuffs the ball over the line into the back of the net. You know, it's a set piece that Liverpool, I think, thought they'd dealt with, and they just couldn't deal with that little header back in from Chilwell.
Defensively, Matt, as a central defender, that's not a great goal, is it, to concede?
No. It's poor. It's that second phase, John. You win that first header, you have to tune into the second phase that the ball's going to come back in the box, and they just switched off Liverpool and nobody took responsibility.
So Chelsea's first Premier League goal under the management of Maurizio Pochettino is scored by the French World Cup winner Axel Disasi, and now they might get another as the ball's played through. Chilwell, round Alisson, it's in! It's a second for Chelsea. They've scored 2 goals in a little over 90 seconds to turn the match around, and Chelsea now lead Liverpool by 2 goals to 1.
Wow, it's just unbelievable stuff. Liverpool players wandering around the pitch, looking at each other. Can't believe that moments ago they were 1-0 up, and now they're 2-1 down, and it's just such a simple goal, to be honest. There's not enough pressure on the ball. A hint of offside here. This is going to go to the wire, John. It looks offside.
It looks offside. But it was played through. Chilwell, I think, is just beyond the defenders.
Yeah.
Alexander-Arnold on the near side of him as we look.
Very similar to the one before with Salah, isn't it? Literally the same kind of margin, similar kind of run. It's Trent Alexander on this near side. Chilwell runs inside of him from the Chelsea left-back position as the ball gets slipped straight through between Van Dijk and Konate. Little straight pass with a diagonal run from Chilwell, but he's gone half a yard too early.
Well, with the naked eye, I'm more confident of this goal being ruled out than I was of the Salah goal ruled out.
You can see the cut of the grass, can't you?
Oh, it's offside. We've just seen they've indicated offside. This goal will be ruled out and it will remain 1-1. And any moment now we'll see the word being given to Anthony Taylor. Here's the rectangle. Yeah, groans, cheers from the Liverpool supporters. They've both had a goal ruled out for offside now in the match, and it remains Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. It's been a busy half for the 5 Live correcting fluid.
Well, it really has. A lot of efforts on goal, a lot of opportunities, 2 ruled out. I mean, it's a very open game. You can see both teams are very attack-minded. Liverpool especially, for me, they're just all at it. They've got to score more than the opponent. You know, I think that's their mindset, not be tight, be solid. I think they're just all out attack at the moment. It makes for an entertaining game though, John, to be fair.
So just to clarify for the easily confused, it is now Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. Luis Diaz scored for Liverpool, Axel Disasi for Chelsea. But here's Salah at the other end, who on the edge of the box shoots, but was rather leaning back, and as a result the shot lacked power, and Sanchez was able to leap down to his left and actually save it and hold it near the foot of his left post, and Salah just took a step back and ran his fingers through his hair.
I mean, I haven't seen Sanchez with the ball too much at his feet in this game. They haven't really played out, have they, in terms of between that back three with Colwill, Silva, into midfield and using the goalkeeper, you maybe expect that a little bit more of Chelsea.
Liverpool breakaway over the halfway line. Szoboszlai almost found the pass through to Luis Diaz. That needed an important block from Disasi. And then there is a foul centre field by Gakpo on Chilwell, who is left on the seat of his pants on the halfway line, and it's a free kick to Chelsea.
I mean, we nearly saw that again, didn't we? A Liverpool midfield player has the ball. There are 3 red shirts that just run. The moment he gets that ball, I don't think they even look, they don't expect it, they just get their head down and they run either out wide or in between one of the back 3 just into that space. And if the pass is right, John, I mean, they could be in so often with the right delivery in front of them. If you just chip that ball or roll that ball into the space, you just fancy either Jota, Diaz, Salah, Gakpo, one of them to make it in there.
Chelsea with the ball at the back. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. And Chukwuemeka on the halfway line to Chilwell, just in front of where Jurgen Klopp is watching. But Liverpool win it back. Here's Salah again on the right-hand side, white bandage around his right hand, plays it forward, but that was straight at Colwill. And Chelsea have it again with Enzo Fernandez, who is being put under pressure by Salah, and so passed it back to his goalkeeper, Sanchez. Just seems strange, doesn't it? Kepa is on his way to Real Madrid. Mendy is now in Saudi Arabia. All change on the goalkeeping front. So young Lucas Bergström, the Finnish international, is Chelsea's goalkeeper on the bench. Also on the bench for Chelsea, Cucurella, Mudryk, Madueke, the under-21 international for England. Here's James on the right, Jackson in the middle. But Jackson, big chance there to score in his Premier League debut, and he knows it. He put it over the angle of post and bar, and he lay on his back there for a few seconds with his hands on his face.
Well, there's got to be a goal. Has to be a goal at this level for Chelsea. The link up on that right hand side, Reece James has been absolutely superb in this first half in terms of going forward. He's done a job defensively, but attacking wise he's been excellent. Mauricio Pochettino jumps in the air and spins around, knowing what kind of chance that was. Top quality striker has to get his upper body over that ball and keep it under the crossbar. He strikes it okay, Jackson, but he's always leaning back and his ball's always rising. He should hit the target. It's a big chance.
Yeah, the kind of chance that, well, a top centre forward would put away. As Chelsea come again through the middle, and Sterling's saying that the final touch there is it ran through to Alisson, was off Van Dijk, but referee Taylor hasn't seen it that way. Liverpool have lost possession. Fernandez won it back. Sterling's on the ball again against his former club, one of his former clubs. Now on the right, cross from James. Jackson beaten in the air by Van Dijk, and the ball is cleared away and just touched back to Thiago Silva by Disasi over on the far side. Very nearly lost out there.
I thought he had lost out. I couldn't see the angle where the ball had gone. I thought Diaz or Gakpo had just nicked it. He just got his toe on it, Disasi.
So that chance for Jackson, that's the sort of chance that at his best Romelu Lukaku would have absolutely loved. But he is persona non grata.
But John, you're how many hundreds of millions into this transfer spree, shall we say?
Billions.
And you've still not got your centre forward.
Yeah.
It's a head scratcher.
You're pushing towards £1 billion in transfer.
You've got chaos in your goalkeeping position, and you're scratching your head on who your centre forward is.
Lukaku, who apparently wasn't even mentioned. I mean, he is a Chelsea player. Saw him in the Champions League final at the end of last season for Inter, but he is still a Chelsea player. 6 minutes of added time, that's quite mild. At the end of the first half. And I was reading Sam Wallace in the newspaper this morning, who was pointing out that Romelu Lukaku is the player that more money has been spent in terms of total transfer fees than anyone else, and also
on the planet, as in
a footballer, because of all of the big fees that have been spent on him, and also of players currently registered to Premier League clubs. Mo Salah scored the most goals. The next most Premier League goals has been scored by Romelu Lukaku. But he is not part of the plan.
But it's been not part of the plan for quite some time. So you've spent a lot of money in that time. since the realisation that he's not going to be part of the solution, and they have to find one.
Yeah, anyway, he's not here, and it's 1-1. Salah now crossing right towards the back post. That's not kept in over there near the dead ball line by Diogo Jota, and it is a goal kick to Chelsea. So we're into 6 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. We'll round up all of the sport on this busy afternoon, this busy weekend. 6:06 to follow as well. I'll tell you in the second half when the lines are open for that, so you can talk about it on 5 Live with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. All of the weekend's action, first time on a Sunday night in this Premier League season. Read all about it on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. The highlights are on Match of the Day 2 tonight, and then you can download the 5 Live Football Daily podcast in the morning. Subscribe for free from BBC Sounds. Chelsea coming forward, the ball swept over from the right hand side, but Chilwell stretching, can only really at the absolute stretch get to that, and wasn't even able to actually get any sort of shot on goal. So Liverpool have got it back. Half-time approaching. Van Dijk just turning away and playing the ball across the edge of his 6-yard box, and Alisson just wandering forward with the ball. One of the most important Liverpool players, their goalkeeper. He's saved them so many times during the course of last season. That amazing, really boom and bust season that Liverpool had, eventually finishing 5th. And Konate now blocks the ball out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea. I must say, when I looked at the Premier League season table from last season again, and we've got a stoppage here because Jota has gone down, feeling his lower right leg, so we're going to have a stoppage in added time while he receives some treatment. Just to remember, Matt, that Chelsea finishing 12th last season, and just what a season it was for them. With the summer having gone by, people might have forgotten that last season Chelsea started last season as the FIFA World Club Champions. New ownership, exciting new ownership, spending a lot of money. They had Thomas Tuchel as their manager this time last year, and by the end of May, Tuchel had gone, Graham Potter had been sacked, Frank Lampard had come and gone again. They had Bruno in charge when they played here against Liverpool last season. Bruno was the manager, finished 0-0, and then Mauricio Pochettino was appointed.
They started okay from what I remember as well under Tuchel. I mean, I don't think Tuchel's relationship with the new ownership
lasted 7 matches.
Was made in heaven, was it?
No, 7.
It wasn't a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was made in 7.
Yeah. So, a lot of disturbance, a lot of disruption. But that's why it just surprises me that they're playing, because the back three. I'm picturing myself being Levi Colwill, that left-footed, left-sided centre-back. I think it's been a really tough first half. You're kind of caught between two stools all the time. You're playing against a front 3 or front 4. So at times, those 3 centre-backs, they're just up against that 3. And Salah has got so much time or space to receive the ball out wide, because you haven't got a fullback in position. A lot of the time you think of fullback, right, that's your role. Mo Salah today, bang, you deal with that. I'm the centre-back inside the pitch, and you kind of know where you stand. I think they've been pulled about the pitch a lot, which is why Liverpool have created, for me, quite a lot of opportunities.
So it is 1-1. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. Jota, I hope he's okay. Just remember the injuries that he had last season that really caused problems, and he has limped off the field. I think he's going to come back on, but injury spoiled his season. It was from Colwill. I mean, it was a fair tackle.
Yeah.
As Enzo Fernandez is fouled by McAllister, and it's a free kick to Chelsea over on the right as Jota does trot back onto the field. Looks as though he's okay. I mean, he'll have had worries because he did have a calf injury, and that was round about the calf region, but he's able to come back onto the field. But McAllister's conceded a free kick in what is a dangerous area for Liverpool. They've already shown themselves susceptible in pre-season and in this game, and it's a set piece for Chelsea that Fernandez is standing over. He's putting his hands to the side of his mouth as he shouts some instruction into the centre where all of the players are gathered together. So here is the Argentine World Cup winner, Enzo Fernandez, steps back, from the free kick. Fernandes, Disasi with a glancing header across the 6-yard box. Colwell got there first for Chelsea, just lifts the ball right across the penalty area, and actually it bounces eventually out of play. Sterling was after it but couldn't keep it in.
It's hard to have too much confidence with Liverpool's set-piece defending, isn't it? I mean, Disasi gets a better touch on that. He's just got to glance it could end up being in the back post. They look a little bit frail in those situations for me.
So it is a goal kick to Liverpool. We've had our 6 minutes. I think that's going to be it. Anthony Taylor just waiting for this goal kick to be taken. So it's 1-1. Could have been 2-2, but both sides have had a goal ruled out for offside. VAR ruling that Salah was offside, and Chilwell likewise at the other end. Thiago Silva, so we continue to play on. Chilwell heads it infield. Here's Chukwuemeka. Chukwuemeka does well, just drew Gakpo, then gets it back. Good midfield play from Chukwuemeka, then the cross from Sterling, but Chilwell arriving can't get there. Alexander-Arnold sort of ran across him and I think did enough to put him off, so he checked his run, he had to check his run. Enzo Fernandez now back to Gallagher, Chukwuemeka again. Chukwuemeka strong, advances towards the edge of the penalty area. That's blocked away by Liverpool. Gallagher wins it back against Salah. Chelsea coming on strong here late in the half, very late in the half. Cross from Enzo Fernandez has put too much on that, and it bounces all the way through and behind for a goal kick. So 1-1 remains the score, and I think that will be it. Enzo Fernandez just trots back into position. Still the record British transfer, isn't he? I am right there, aren't I? £106.8 million. That hasn't been beaten yet, has it? I mean, the fee's been agreed, but £111 million for Caicedo, but that's not gone through. I suppose we don't know what the Harry Kane final figure was, do we? As the ball from the goal kick just floats over the halfway line as the whistle goes for the break. And at the break, Matthew Upson, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1 is the score. Fair enough?
Yeah, I would say just about. I thought Liverpool, up until the last 15-20 minutes of that half, I thought Liverpool had the better of Chelsea, looked far more threatening, a little bit more cohesive with their attacking play. And okay defensively, Chelsea hadn't really challenged them until those two quick goals, didn't quite deal with the set piece. So I think it's a fair reflection of the first half. It's an open game, it really is. It isn't anything of those past draws or goalless matches where both teams are quite solid. This is very open, and I think anything can happen in this second half.
So don't miss the second half. It is Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1 at the break.
And presumably, Matt Upson, the air is thick with the scent of John Murray's Tipex.
Yes, absolutely. Back yourself. We both need to just stick to our guns, to be honest. When we're talking about formations, we kind of felt it would be that. We looked at the team, right, it's going to be that, and then, you know, you can get drawn into other things. But anyway, it's panned out all right in the end, Steve.
And this could end up being a game of at least three halves as well, because Liverpool in the first 22 minutes were not Liverpool in the second.
No, absolutely. It's almost like they got a little bit rattled, a little bit cagey. I worry about set pieces, corners, wide free kicks, just dealing with it. And maybe not the initial one, like the goal. It's that switching on to the second ball. It kind of partially gets cleared. And a clever little header from Ben Chilwell, just lobbing it back into that 6-yard box area just to see what happens. It's a dangerous header, but as a Liverpool player, you have to be ready for that and switch on and take responsibility and do your job and stick with your player. And they just had a lapse of concentration.
I've just been told off, John. I'm supposed to say correction fluid, is that right?
That's what I called it.
That is fair enough.
I called it, yeah. Although I think if you say Tipex, I think people do know what you mean.
Yeah, I was going to say other brands are available. I'm not even sure that they are. But anyway, John, Matt, thank you very much indeed. Fascinating first half that. Chelsea won, Liverpool won. Could have been 2-2. Could have been anything, really. Second half commentary on the way. We've got reaction as well to come to Brentford 2, Tottenham 2. In the earlier kickoff in the Premier League in Scotland, it finished Aberdeen 1, Celtic 3, Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0, and Motherwell 2, Hibernian 1. Let's get the news on 5 Live. Here's Stuart Clarkson. The perils of pork scratchings before broadcasting. Live and learn, John Murray.
Yeah, I think I might have learned that one quite a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, you're always learning. You never stop learning. And I'm sure that Mauricio Pochettino and Jurgen Klopp will be learning from what they're seeing here. They'll be out very shortly. Their teams are just emerging. Chelsea are first. Don't see any immediate sign of a substitution being made at the start of the second half. So I'll run you through the teams as they finish the first half. So Sanchez making his debut in goal for Chelsea. Goal scorer Disasi, Thiago Silva and Colwill are their three central defenders. Captain Reece James on the right, Chilwell on the left, Enzo Fernandez with Gallagher in the middle, then Chukwuemeka, Raheem Sterling and Nicholas Jackson, who did have one big chance to score on the edge of the 6-yard box. And Liverpool, the teams are just about ready now for the start of the second half. Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, Szoboszlai and McAllister, and Salah, Jota, goal scorer Diaz and Gakpo. This is 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1 as the second half begins under cloudy skies now here at Stamford Bridge in West London, and the ball is fired forward after the kick-off by Liverpool, headed away by Disasi near the edge of his penalty spot. And now Chukwuemeka, who has caught the eye from time to time, the young England under-20 international, and plays it to the left-hand side. Here is Jackson, who is peeled out towards the left flank, little ball into Chukwuemeka, and then Chukwuemeka forced by Liverpool to go back towards the halfway line. Chelsea blue shirts, blue shorts, white socks of course, here at their home ground Stamford Bridge, and Liverpool in their first choice colours, the red shirts, shorts and socks with the white trim, as Disasi overhits a pass through, and it will dribble out now for a goal kick to Liverpool. Watching the match with Matthew Upson, England World Cup player. What do you think the second half might have in hold for us, Matt?
Well, I think it's going to be much of what happened in the first half, John, if I'm honest, which is that was very much a half of two halves, wasn't it, with Liverpool looking a lot more dominant and then Chelsea coming back into it at the end of that first half. But there's so many open spaces and little mistakes, and I think players just getting used to certain positions, other team members, both very early on in their stages of redevelopment.
Heavy touch from Gallagher on the halfway line. Liverpool have got it back. It's played across to Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz goes for the ball across the penalty area. It's almost neither one thing nor the other, that whether he might have had a shot at goal or cross it. As a result, actually Colwill was able to intercept and put it out of play for a corner to Liverpool. And actually at the other end, Matt, you've just spotted that Nicholas Jackson has actually stayed down in the Liverpool penalty area. So what happened there? I'm not entirely sure. This must have been after the ball had gone.
Yeah, I think he just got caught the follow through of the clearance. I think it was from Alisson, just caught him. But the chance from Diaz, he just doesn't strike the ball cleanly. He tries to whip the ball with his right foot, curling it to the far post. He just really kind of almost shanks it, and it just spoons up in the air, and Levi Colwill had to deal with it. It was really a difficult ball. He had to get in a very strange position with his body just to try and hook that ball away at the far post for Chelsea. He's put it behind for a corner that they're now having to defend, and Jackson's just dropping back into that 6-yard box area with Robert Sanchez just putting him in position, ready to do his defensive duties.
Right, Chelsea having to defend this corner then in front of the shed stand. Alexander-Arnold to take this, but not yet, because Anthony Taylor, the referee, is just having to go and speak to a number of the players who are gathered in a group around the corner of the box. There's a bit of leaning and pushing and shoving. Konate, Van Dijk, Colwill. Still that continues. And now the corner is taken to the near post, but that's headed away by Jackson, who is back in there for Chelsea. It's kept in play over on the far side. Then a left-footed cross high to the edge of the area from Alexander-Arnold. Van Dijk heads it on, bounces across. Luis Diaz with the overhead kick, but that's right across the 6-yard box. Diogo Jota actually keeps it in, gives it back to Van Dijk. Van Dijk goes for the curler, which was not far away from the far top corner. It just flashed over the top of the crossbar.
He had a lot of time to line this one up as Jota just cuts the ball back to him. He's right on the corner, or just inside the corner of the 18-yard box, and with his right foot he just sees that opening into the top corner on the far side. And you're right, John, it's probably about a foot, half a foot, just high and wide of that top corner crossbar position. It's a nice strike from Van Dijk.
I don't think I've ever seen Virgil van Dijk be in that position to have a shot like that, strangely.
I've not seen him hit a proper curler like that with his right foot before. So new territory.
Yeah, Chelsea, even at the age of 32 as he is. Chelsea won, Liverpool won. He's the new Liverpool captain. Alexander-Arnold, the vice-captain. Here's the Chelsea captain. Reece James, back heel from him. Sterling was there. Sterling into the chest of Jackson, but it bounced off his chest and away from him. He was hoping just to get it, I think, on the turn, but it bounced off his chest a distance and Liverpool cleared. Chelsea playing from left to right as we look. Ball into the area from Chukwuemeka, but Liverpool deal with that as well.
Really good reaction from Trent Alexander-Arnold, then saw the danger, really tucked inside and got along the line of that pass. He was trying to put it through to Jackson. It was really good defending from the Liverpool right back.
So the lines are open now to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 5 Live. 08 085 909 693 to book your call. Cross from the right hand side from Liverpool, but that's an easy catch, unchallenged from Sanchez. The top level football now really off and running. So we've got a full 3-hour Monday night club tomorrow night. Mark Chapman with Chris Sutton, Steph Houghton and Rory Smith. Manchester United Wolves are playing tomorrow night as well. Coverage of that. Both World Cup semi-finals will be on 5 Live and BBC One as well. But if you're working, 5 Live, the place to listen to them. Spain, Sweden, 5 Live, 9 o'clock Tuesday morning. And then Wednesday morning, live from inside the stadium in Sydney. Our team who've been there throughout the World Cup will bring you commentary on Australia versus England. That's on Wednesday morning, and then on Wednesday evening, live from Greece, the Super Cup. But Liverpool coming forward here in the Premier League. The cross from Robertson is too close to Sanchez, who's able to catch it. Yes, I'll be live in the Georgios Karaiskakis Stadium on Wednesday night in Piraeus, the home of Olympiacos, where Manchester City play Sevilla. So that is Wednesday evening. That's a very good ground, that actually, very atmospheric, certainly when Olympiacos play. It's a while since I've been there, and these two sides have both been involved in that competition. Remember going to Istanbul to watch Chelsea against Liverpool, which went to a penalty shootout a few years back, pre-Covid. Liverpool winning the ball back here. 1-1 the score. Ball played by Luis Diaz into the area. Robertson does well, slides, puts the ball across, but Thiago Silva there on the edge of the penalty area, very coolly, very casually, just hitches up his right leg and blocks the ball over the top of his own crossbar and wide for a corner.
Yeah, he's sensible awareness and position from Thiago Silva. It just doesn't get any better from a centre-back's perspective. He just knows where to be and when to be there. Just makes it look so easy.
Corner to be taken from the left, and it's Szoboszlai, the Hungarian international, Premier League debut, taking this to the near post. It's flick headed on, it took a deflection. Goalkeeper Sanchez had already dived to his left. If that had bounced in, it was Diaz with the initial header, hit a defender and bounced. I mean, that was inches wide. It could easily have bounced in, it bounced wide.
That was like slow motion, wasn't it? I think the referee, is he looking at something here? Whether it's a handball.
Might be a handball. Was it Jackson had hit at the near post?
It grazed the post. Jackson jumps.
Now, is his arm out of his shadow there?
No, I don't.
Because his arm is up in front of his chest.
It's in front of his chest, which I think just might save him, because Jota just misses the ball, or maybe it's Diaz that jumps in front of him, and the ball flashes in, and his hand is right in front of his chest, which I think is why it's going to be okay. And they're not going to look at that as a handball.
They have said to Anthony Taylor, I think, the play can continue. Still waiting for the signal. Yes, I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Corner from the left again then. Szoboszlai caused problems with his last one. Szoboszlai, in it goes, headed away. Thiago Silva got there again for Chelsea, bounces out into the full-back position and is whacked away left-footed downfield, really thumped downfield by Colwell, but Liverpool are able to take up possession again. Liverpool the stronger team at the moment. Szoboszlai again goes for goal, shoots and blocked. Gallagher threw himself into the path of that. Luis Diaz now down in the Chelsea right back area, but James does well. Just shrugs off Luis Diaz as though he didn't even feel any contact from him, and it bounces behind, although actually James does now react as though he'd got a bang in the chest.
Well, it was a tackle of the game from Conor Gallagher. A moment before that on Szoboszlai, really did throw himself into that. Szoboszlai lining up a right foot effort, and he just came flying in from the side. Really good tackle from Conor Gallagher.
This is 5 Live. and the World Service from the BBC. 1-1 between Chelsea and Liverpool. And here's Sterling as Chelsea, rare attack in the second half. Oh, Enzo Fernandez!
Oh.
Chilwell with a left foot shot, but it's saved by Alisson. And it bounced out and was put behind for a Chelsea corner by Alexander-Arnold. Good position for Chilwell, but shot straight at Alisson, who was able to beat it away. Corner is taken quickly by Chelsea, trying to catch Liverpool napping. Gallagher plays it back towards the left, where with his right foot it was swept infield by Chilwell, who had the chance, and now actually Liverpool break. Oh, and Gallagher had to put in a challenge on Salah, but he did. He just got there. Otherwise, Salah would have been away from the halfway line.
I thought he was in, John. I mean, the tackle had to be made from Conor Gallagher, and he knew he had to make it early. He couldn't let Salah get any distance or speed.
Oh, and then Jackson almost found a pass through to Sterling, and that was just intercepted by Liverpool on the edge of the box.
How open is this game, John? It's just end to end, isn't it? You have the ball and attack, right? We'll have the ball and attack. It's just so stretched at the moment.
Now, in the first half, on a number of occasions, Salah got the better of Colwill, but just now Colwill has got the better of Salah and comes away with the ball, plays it downfield, but Konate comes across for Liverpool to put it out of play for a throw to the home side, to Maurizio Pochettino's Chelsea. 1-1 the score. Liverpool took the lead. If you've just switched on to us on 5 Live, if you've been out on this summer holiday afternoon, Luis Diaz giving Liverpool the lead, but Axel Disasi, one of the many new names that Chelsea have brought in, scored the equaliser. The French World Cup final central defender came on as a substitute for the final seconds of the World Cup final. Now Chelsea player after being signed for £38.8 million from Monaco. From Monaco to West London. Chelsea coming forward again. Jackson in the box on the left hand side after Chukwuemeka found him there, but Jackson is forced into the full back position. Jackson then back to Chilwell, goes back further towards the halfway line to Colwill, and Thiago Silva accepts possession of the ball. Uses Colwill again, who shapes his body, finds the path to Chilwell, almost on the white line down the left, and there into the penalty area. Chukwuemeka tries to leave it for Chilwell, but that was read well for Liverpool, and McAllister was the man who read it and cleared it. He's been quietish, Alexis McAllister, on his Liverpool Premier League debut.
Yeah, but I'm just watching him, John, and he's very much almost that one player sat in the middle in front, so he's playing that defensive midfield role, which, let's face it, looking at him at Brighton last season as a number 10 or the attacking midfield of a two, he was outstanding, creating chances. He's best in that little role, that number 10 role that you see Gakpo playing, and I think that's why this team's screaming out so loudly for Caicedo to allow him to advance further up the pitch, and you'll see much more of McAllister in that role.
Yes. No substitutions made yet. Chelsea winning the ball back. Enzo Fernandez cross comes, just flicks the back of the Liverpool defender, which took the ball into the air, headed away by Konate. Szoboszlai leans into Gallagher, who went down rather easily. The ball then hits Anthony Taylor, or did it? Apparently not. Chukwuemeka as play continues. Chilwell now on the left hand side. Chukwuemeka is there, close to him. It's been an all-action performance. He's covered a lot of ground, Chukwuemeka, the number 17. He's another one who's changed his number this season in the Chelsea squad. Numbers become available all of the time, of course, in the Chelsea squad, it seems. The supporters, the Chelsea fans getting behind their team. Liverpool started the second half the better, but now Chelsea having a better spell themselves. Gallagher making himself available on the left-hand side. Gallagher in, Chukwuemeka, that's a nice turn away from Konate, then also takes it on past McAllister as he goes square to the right hand side to Enzo Fernandez, who turns and then uses Reece James, who flicks the ball in field. Gallagher back to James with a cross to the back post, but it's over the top of Jackson, who leapt for it but couldn't get there with his head. Chelsea, they'll keep the ball in play. Chukwuemeka almost inevitably again is the man who's there to pick up the pieces and get Chelsea going again. You can tell from the reaction of the fans here at Stamford Bridge that the Chelsea supporters are warming to the way that Chelsea are playing in the second half.
Well, you can now start to see that Mauricio Pochettino style of football just starting to come and creep into the Chelsea players. I mean, they've had far more possession than Liverpool in this game. They did in the first half, but certainly in this second half, that statistic is really far skewed towards Chelsea. and their possession and movement. They've got the ability just to be calmer on the ball, more time. I looked at them last season, they were struggling to string 5 or 6 passes together, but at the moment they're looking far more in control.
Chelsea 66% possession at the moment in the match. In the Super League, by the way, one match today after the thrills and spills at Wembley yesterday. Today's scoreline: St Helens 14, Huddersfield 6 is the latest score in the Super League. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1 is the latest score in the Premier League here. And here is Chilwell. Chilwell playing in a very advanced position as the left wing back throughout the course of this game. Takes the ball into the box, but Alexander-Arnold is there to get a foot in on it and clear it out of play for another throw to Chelsea down the left.
I think that ball had to come in early there, John. It's a lovely switch of play from Disasi. Got it out of his feet on the right-hand centre-back side and pinged it across to Chilwell. He took it down beautifully, and then he just wanted to cross that early. No defender likes that ball coming in early. He had another touch, and Trent Alexander-Arnold was able to get out and just show him where he wanted to. But if that ball comes in early, Jackson, the one thing about Jackson is we've seen the quality might not just be there at the moment, but I tell you what, John, he doesn't half move in the box, and he will get the right side of the defender to get across players.
Free kick given against Ben Chilwell. Wasn't much in that on Alexander-Arnold, but referee Taylor has never been the most popular with Chelsea fans. Gives the free kick Liverpool's way. Chelsea back in possession though. Chukwuemeka, it does well, finds Chilwell down the left. That was very tight, and Chilwell I thought was caught by McAllister as he took the ball on. The ball's bounced behind. It's actually I know he has given the free kick, rightly so. Fouled by McAllister. Chilwell.
Yeah, it's good advantage from Anthony Taylor. Just thought he'd see what would develop there. He sees the foul from McAllister, and then Konate comes across and wins the ball, but the earlier foul from McAllister was there. And now this is a wide free kick in a very dangerous position. And Liverpool, it's interesting how they set up. They're very much zonal. A line spreading across, looks like Robertson, Szoboszlai, Konate, Jota in there maybe as well, Van Dijk, and Alexander-Arnold at the back post.
That's the voice of Matthew Upson with us on 5 Live in the World Service, watching this Chelsea free kick from over on the far side. Reece James is there, so is Chilwell. Chilwell runs over it. James drives it in, actually went for goal against Alisson. Must have just saw him coming off his line, decided to go for it, trying to bend it into the near top corner, but got it over the top of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. Mentioned the World Cup semi-final on Wednesday. Reece James playing hero under how much he's in contact with his sister Lauren, who will obviously be suspended for that match, and desperately hoping that England get through that match so that she can play in the World Cup final next weekend. And free kick for a challenge on Thiago Silva. And I think Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp is preparing a couple of substitutes. He is. Darwin Núñez and Curtis Jones coming on as well. Maybe Curtis Jones a little unfortunate not to be starting the season, but he'll be on in a minute. Chelsea playing the ball all the way back to Sanchez. Sanchez almost dwelt on the ball too long, and
you get one of those moments.
Diaz was almost there, he just got it away.
You honestly get one of those moments again with Robert Sanchez. You do. I saw it at Brighton, and I think that was a bit of a deal breaker for De Zerbi.
Reece James playing the ball in towards the edge of the penalty area, but that is won well by Alexander-Arnold, who's had a good game. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Reece James now in a more central position to the right hand side to Sterling. Sterling bounced the ball off Robertson. Sterling turns and crosses it over, but a stretch away from Van Dijk, and it bounces back, and Andy Robertson hits it high towards the halfway line. 1-1. It's poised, it's balanced quite nicely. Next goal could be the winner.
Yeah, but
we'll see.
I mean, it's balanced nicely, but it's Chelsea possession-wise. I mean, all we're doing is looking to the right-hand side, the Liverpool defensive half of the pitch, because Chelsea are really knocking it about nicely.
Which has probably prompted the changes that Jurgen Klopp's about to make. Reece James goes all the way across from one side to the other with his pass. Chukwuemeka's there. Chilwell now with the cross. Chilwell. It's deflected behind off Alexander-Arnold, and it's a corner now to Chelsea. And you're seeing those Chelsea wing-backs You know, it's not anything new to say that Chilwell and James are so important for them. Two of the most important players in terms of what they provide going forward. And Chilwell's forced this corner. Chilwell, who himself could easily have scored in the match, he's had a couple saved. Goal disallowed for offside. So Enzo Fernandez going to take this, the Argentine World Cup winner. Poor delivery to the near post. Chukwuemeka nearly made something of it, but it was cleared. Back out to Enzo Fernandez, then in from James, but that's headed away near the penalty spot. Headed back in. James was underneath that to nod it in. Van Dijk heads it across the penalty area. That's taken down. Thiago Silva with a flick. Then back to Colwell, whose shot was blocked inside the penalty area. Jackson battling for it with his back to goal. And then Luis Diaz in with a firm challenge on James, who was quickly up to his feet. Chelsea still in possession. This is now a good spell for Chelsea. Liverpool are up against it. The ball's out of play, and I think Liverpool will make these changes now. First substitutions of the match. So Darwin Nunez, the Uruguayan, who still has plenty to prove for Liverpool. 15 goals last season in all competitions, and he is going to replace, well, number 20 came up, which is Jota's number. Yep, it is Jota and Gakpo who are coming off. So that front four, that's a bit of a rejig now, with Nunez coming on and two of the front four coming off. So Jones obviously playing now in central midfield. Did really well for the England under-21s in their excellent victory at the European Under-21 Championship at the end of last season under Lee Carsley. Didn't concede a goal through the tournament, and Jones actually ended up scoring the goal in the final, but if you remember, it was deflected in off him from Cole Palmer's free kick. But he's on the field now, and Nunez. But Chelsea coming forward again. Sterling into the box on the left-hand side, but Konate was able to block the attempted cross, and in doing so deflected it back onto Sterling and through for a goal kick. 1-1.
I'll tell you what, John, I'm looking at Chukwuemeka again. I mean, he's the type of player that I don't know, just his style. Does he ever have a quiet game where he's just always in the thick of it? Brilliant piece of play a moment ago where he pulled that ball back, and then there was another opportunity where somebody got in the way of a shot from Colwell. But this lad has covered nearly every blade of grass on the pitch today, hasn't he? He's been everywhere. Good moments of quality as well, but really has a good work ethic.
Yes, he's I don't want to build him up too much, but there's just been little shades of Bellingham actually about the way that he has he's covered the ground.
Yeah, he's got a high energy style, hasn't he? That's why I said, like, I haven't seen him play live that often, but he just looks the type of player that's always going to be in the mix. You know, he's in the thick of it, he's popping up, he's chasing balls down, he's out wide, he's arriving in the box. You know, he's had an impressive impact in this game.
We are midway through the second half now here at Stamford Bridge in fashionable West London. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1, and Trent Alexander-Arnold delaying the taking of a throw-in has led to him being yellow carded for time wasting, as per the directives currentently. I was at Newcastle last night. I thought Sandro Tonali was very, very unfortunate to be booked for actually Eddie Howe substituted him. He'd had such a good game,
wasn't he?
And he was actually taking the applause of the crowd. Newcastle were winning the game comfortably, and he was getting a great reception, and he was booked for time wasting, for taking too long to get off the field. Here's Conor Gallagher.
He was milking it, John, let's face it.
Ball played by Enzo Fernandez to the right. Oh, good cross from James, but that's headed up and away by Van Dijk to the edge of the area, nodded away on the edge of the D. Miss kick by Fernandez, but he got another chance as it bounced in front of him. Chelsea building this momentum as they attack towards the Matthew Harding stand, and now Chilwell with a cross, but goalkeeper Alisson comes just outside of his 6-yard box, a little hop, and catches it in those black gloves. And now Mauricio Pochettino, in that way that we've seen from him in the past, as his team attacks, standing there in his black suit, feet wide apart, pointing them in the right direction. That's the style of football, that all football supporters enjoy seeing. That's what Chelsea hope that he'll bring to them.
Well, he's got them in order in terms of having possession of the ball. I mean, Liverpool are having a well-earned break and a breather in terms of they've got the ball at the moment, but 76% possession Chelsea in this second half. I mean, for a game of this magnitude and stature with two top teams, that's a massive difference, John, isn't it? It's not often you see a top 4, top 6 match of two teams and there's that big a shift in possession.
Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. Liverpool, a rare attack now for them in the second half. Ball played up towards Salah, but Conor Gallagher, excellent challenge from him. And now that's a lovely turn from Enzo Fernandez. He had Liverpool players either side of them, 2 of them, and he dragged the ball back, took them both out of the game, and that's why Chelsea paid that sort of money for Enzo Fernandez, over £106 million. Ball is back with Chelsea halfway inside their own half. 1-1. Thiago Silva to Disasi. 20 minutes to go. Disasi goes for a long pass forward towards Jackson, who's in an offside position, so it's a free kick to Liverpool halfway inside their own half.
He will try and stretch a back four, Jackson, in fairness to him. I mean, he's a centre forward that will want to run and stretch and work a channel and look behind all the time. He hasn't quite maybe shown the quality in this game, but that could be really important for Chelsea. It's a big factor into why they might just have a little bit more space to get those midfield players on the ball.
Alexander-Arnold turns inside his own half and sends an excellent low pass through in between the Chelsea defenders for Salah to chase, but Sanchez was quickly out of his penalty area to clear it away. And now it's with Luis Diaz, who opened the scoring in the first half from an excellent ball from Salah. Alexander-Arnold involved in the Liverpool attack again. Salah now forward towards Nunez, the Liverpool number 9, the Uruguayan, with his sleek black hair tied up, but Liverpool lose it, and the ball's played forward by Chukwuemeka, and now Jackson's away into the penalty area. Jackson! Alisson comes out and is able to make the save. He was away from Konate there. That was excellent speed from Jackson to round Konate, but in the end maybe the angle was a little tight for him, and Alisson coming out made the blocking save.
There's that run, John. The ball turns over, they win it. He's got one thought, he's on his bike, it's down that channel. Konate has to come across, and what I like about Jackson, he just decides, I'm just going to try and burn him up on the outside. I think I've got the pace to beat him, I'm going to give it a go. And he does get the wrong side of him. Konate just leans on him, and he's on his left foot, Jackson, and Alisson has to make the save, but it was really good play from the Chelsea centre forward.
Skies have just darkened here on this August summer's afternoon. Still dry, still 1-1 as it was at half-time. Alexis McAllister through to the taller Nunez, now on the edge of the box, then Diaz back to Robertson, and then forward again Nunez, back centrally. Forward of the centre circle is Alexander-Arnold in that more central position, but this time the pass to the edge of the area is straight at Colwell, who rather slices his clearance out of play for a throw-in to Liverpool, who are just trying to edge their way back into this territorially. But what did you say it was at the time? 76
a few minutes ago. Yeah. I think that might have shifted a little bit more in Liverpool's favour. They've had a slightly bit more of the ball in this last 4 or 5 minutes, but Chelsea fully dominating possession, certainly in this second half.
This man's important from that point of view. Oh, another excellent change of feet, just drags the ball back again, took McAllister out of the game, his World Cup winning teammate, and now it's Sterling into the action down the right hand side, but the ball blocked off Robertson and out of play for what is given as a goal kick. Raheem Sterling can't believe it. That was a proper appeal from Andy Robertson, cricket style, to the assistant down there, Gary Bezic, who said yep. And was it the right decision?
It hit the hand of Raheem Sterling. It flicked up and just hit his hand before it went out, so
it was the right decision.
Technically I think that is the right decision.
Well, it's actually the right
handball
decision.
Or their ball.
Yeah, well, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. Lines are open for 6:06. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton standing by to take your calls on this first Sunday Premier League night of the season. 08085 909 693. Get in touch, 85058, hashtag BBC 606 to talk to Robbie and Chris on 606 tonight. Fernandez square to Gallagher.
That is about the 8th time I've seen Fernandez do that little drag back, John. Just did it again. It's like a little roll, isn't it, with the studs, just pulling it back or rolling it over with his foot. He's done it time and time again in this game.
Yeah, he in what is now his second season, very much at home. And he'll be an important player for Mauricio Pochettino. I don't think I'm putting my neck on the line by saying that. Here's Sterling now, moving in from the right-hand side, but plays it square to Gallagher. Might have thought about a shot from there, but instead plays the ball forward, diagonally into the box. Jackson's ball across the penalty area was straight at Van Dijk, and actually Jackson had been in an offside position, so it's a free kick to Liverpool. Just looking down to see if Pochettino is thinking about a change. Mudryk didn't make the team for the first match of the season. Cucurella's on the bench. Noni Madueke as well, who I've really liked what I've seen of him so far. Ukachukwu, another of the new signings, and Andres Santos, who was signed last season but has been on loan in Brazil. So those are some of the options. A couple of youngsters down there as well on the bench. Ian Matson, Mason Burstow. And yes, there is going to be a change, and it is going to be Malo Gusto, who's going to come on, who is the French under-21 international, who was signed.
Reece James.
Yeah, and he is a right back. So whether Reece James has got a problem here, and he's going to take the armband across to the vice captain, who is Ben Chilwell. So Chilwell takes over the captaincy, and Reece James, well, he's running off the field, and Mauricio Pochettino calls him over, gives him a hug, and there's a hug likewise for Malo Gusto. So this is his senior competitive debut for this 20-year-old who was signed in the January of last season from Lyon, and then went back to Lyon on loan for the latter part of last season, but could end up costing £30 million. So change for Chelsea, and now another double change for Liverpool, which is going to see Salah being substituted,
and Diaz, I think, John.
And Salah is peeling off the bandage on his right hand and throwing away the remnants of it, and he's not very happy, and he walks past Jurgen Klopp, who ignores him, picks up a water bottle, and more of that bandage is thrown down quite forcefully. So Diaz and Salah both substituted, and you don't often see that from Mo Salah, a reaction like that.
He does not look happy.
He does not.
I mean,
I don't think Jurgen Klopp's very happy either.
No, I mean, 15 minutes left in the game of this magnitude, really, away at Chelsea, 1-1, and he's coming off. He's just not used to that, Mo Salah, is he?
He is not. And two of Liverpool's youngsters coming on, Elliott and Doak coming on. So for Ben Doak, it's this is a big call from Jurgen Klopp to bring on this 17-year-old Scotsman, Scotland under-21 international, Ben Doak, and Harvey Elliott, another of the Euro under-21 championship winners from England, who we are rather more familiar with. And it is played forward by Jones into the Chelsea penalty area, but that's read by Disasi, who clears via deflection, but it's kept in play with that deflection. And now Robertson uses Jones again, Curtis Jones, back to Robertson, and Robertson, little pass, close quarters to Szoboszlai, and now McAllister, Liverpool's new number 10, to Robertson on the left-hand side, but Robertson's cross is blocked, and then Robertson gets a second chance, but Disasi got his head to that at the near post and nods it back out from where it came, and it bounced out just next to the corner flag with the blue flag hanging from it, and Robertson takes a quick throw, and Szoboszlai will play the ball in field. Konate saw that Chukwuemeka was coming and just hoisted the ball forward. It's missed the header by Chukwuemeka, then bounces down, and now here on the left hand side is Curtis Jones, but Gallagher is in there, and actually it's adjudged that I think the offside flag is up against Jones, so it's a free kick to Liverpool. What have we got left, Matt? Just over 10 minutes. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1.
Well, just over 10 minutes of actual time, but we know there's going to be a fair chunk, and there's more activity on the Chelsea bench, looking like Mudryk getting ready to come on. Also, There's been a lot of changes, hasn't there, in this game in the last 5 or 6 minutes. A lot of substitutions. It's going to be interesting how either team sees this one out. We're probably going to have a good 15 to 20 minutes left.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that Sterling and Chukwuemeka are going to come off, and coming on will be, as you said, Matt, Mudryk, but also young Ian Maatsen, the Dutch under-21 international, who played so well for Burnley last season. So he will come on for only his second appearance for Chelsea. It'll be his Premier League debut. But not yet. Still 1-1. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. And Chelsea with Chilwell on the left. Low ball in towards the edge of the penalty area. Fernandes again putting his foot on the ball, dragging it back, and then playing it across the head of the right-hand side. Sterling, who's going to be substituted next time the ball goes out of play. It's back now to Gusto, the new right back, the number 27, who's come onto the field for Reece James. Back to the right-hand side to Sterling. Sterling's got support from Gusto, and then infield to Gallagher. Gallagher just waits and then tried to curl a pass to Sterling, but that was cut out. It was easily read by Robertson, and Robertson forward towards Nunez. Nunez is all on his own, but Colwell comes across, goes to ground, puts the challenge in. Thiago Silva it is, comes across, puts the challenge in, and they've loved that one, the home supporters, seeing Thiago Silva do that sort of thing. And it's out now for this double Chelsea change. So Chukwuemeka, who, as we've suggested, has had a very decent day, having been selected, the 19-year-old, in this starting lineup for Mauricio Pochettino's first game in charge. He has caught the eye, Matt Upson.
Yeah, he's had an excellent game, John. I will say the quality has been good, but what's impressed me is his energy, work rate. He's covered every blade of grass. He's got forward, he's wide, he's keeping the ball in play. So I think he can come off the pitch feeling really proud of his performance.
And Maatsen coming on for, it was Sterling, wasn't it, who has left the field. Everyone got up in front of us, but I think it is Raheem Sterling who has left the field. So as I say, for Ian Maatsen, this is a Premier League debut for Chelsea, the 21-year-old, as the ball is thrown back from the stand here, which means that there's an extra ball on the pitch. So Mudryk has come on, and at the moment he is over here on the right-hand side for Chelsea, the Ukrainian international. He'll have been disappointed, I'm sure, not to have started this season. He's another one with a lot to prove, isn't he? Mykhailo Mudryk, after his first season. Remember how he made his debut against Liverpool at Anfield last season. Here's Nunez, who gets the ball back from Elliott. Nunez shoots just outside the tee, but that was blocked at source by Enzo Fernandez. And then Darwin Nunez is dispossessed, claims he was fouled. Referee Taylor says no. Ball played downfield. Chilwell across to Jackson, but Van Dijk read the danger there and was able to get in tight, put in the challenge on Jackson, and Liverpool have been able to clear it on the edge of their own penalty area. Still 1-1 with 7 minutes to play.
I mean, Jurgen Klopp is on the floor. He's so disappointed with that decision from Anthony Taylor. Szoboszlai putting a lot of pressure on Gusto when he had the ball. And I don't think he made the foul, but he ended up going down, Gusto, and he gave the foul. And Jurgen Klopp was just literally curled in a ball, John, with his head on the ground. Just couldn't believe the decision. He's now getting really animated.
Hands on his face.
Yeah.
Playing to the crowd there a little, I think, as well.
Very much.
Mudryk on the right for Chelsea. Then Gusto, great name, isn't it, for a footballer, Gusto. Here he is on the right-hand side, and then forward towards Mudryk. Mudryk now, there's a step over there, but the cross was blocked by Robertson, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea. 1-1. So we'll find out in the next 10 minutes, maybe longer, whether there is to be a winner between these teams, between Pochettino and Klopp's teams. Faced each other in the Champions League final in Madrid in his Tottenham days. Here come Chelsea again, though, Pochettino's Chelsea, but a heavy touch took it into the penalty area, and from Maatsen, and it was cleared away by Van Dijk, straight out of play for a throw down the right, halfway inside the Liverpool half. Gusto takes the throw, then back to Disasi on the halfway line. Thiago Silva quickly moves it. Here's Colwell now. Colwell carrying the ball deep into Liverpool territory. Chilwell gives it in back. Now back to Thiago Silva again on the halfway line. Just caresses the ball in those white boots. They almost look like velvet gloves, don't they? The way that he has a touch on the ball. Comes back to him again. Turns to his right. Gives it square to Disasi. Now here is the blonde-haired Mudryk, hugging the touchline on the right-hand side. Now moving in field, gets the ball back from Maatsen, but then overruns it. And Elliott was there in the right place just to clear away downfield. And Jurgen Klopp he's actually come all the way across into Maurizio Pochettino's technical area, which technically they're not supposed to do this season. That's supposed to be worth a yellow card as well. Forward towards Mudryk, who was lent into by Robertson. Liverpool have got it back. This game's here for the winning for either side. Jones, and then a little header infield by Robertson. Szoboszlai on the edge of the area tried to play it into Darwin Núñez, who was on his heels, and then that looked like a foul by Konate. It was, and it's a yellow card as well for that challenge. I think he knew what he was doing in the eyes of Anthony Taylor, and that will not please Jurgen Klopp either. Yellow card for Konate for that challenge.
Oh, how well poised is this game, John? We're going to have roughly, probably over 10 minutes left. It's 85 minutes on the clock, but this could go either way. Both teams looking a little bit tired, tiny little bit ragged. Usual in this first match of the Premier League season. You've had your pre-season, but really finding that match fitness, you kind of get it as games go on.
Maatsen on the left, crosses it in, but too close to Alisson, who's able to pick it up. Played an important part, Maatsen, in the Burnley promotion push, winning the championship last season. Was in the team of the season, and now getting his chance with Chelsea in the Premier League. And I suppose that's it. Anyone who is still here will feel you've got a chance with Pochettino.
I mean, it's quite bizarre, isn't it? They've spent so much money, but there's a lot of players that have gone out the door as well. It's quite an unusual squad, isn't it, that Mauricio Pochettino has to pick from.
Well, much changing. I read today that the next deal that Chelsea do will be the 50th transfer deal under the new owners, so that is in just over a year. Here's Mudryk on the right-hand side. Mudryk is fouled by Szoboszlai, but Mudryk goes down. Referee's not having that. He's saying that was a dive by Mudryk. You can hear the reaction to that. Lines open for 6:06. 085 909 693, maybe 15 minutes away from that, maybe less. Here's Elliott for Liverpool up towards the edge of the penalty area. Now Szoboszlai lifts over the cross, but that's cleared away by Colwell at the back post. Comes out to Alexander-Arnold. He scored 2 goals against Chelsea in his time. He's up near the edge of the penalty area, and he's giving it to Doak, the young Scotsman, the number 50. Now number 50 to number 66, Alexander-Arnold, but Alexander-Arnold's ball in field is intercepted by Colwell, and but Jones likewise wins the ball back for Liverpool. Harvey Elliott back towards the halfway line, and Liverpool in possession with 3 minutes of the 90 to go. Still, it is poised at 1-1. Liverpool in possession though. Bright sunshine now, but most of the pitch in shadow, and then there's a foul on the far side on Ben Chilwell, and it's a free kick to Chelsea halfway inside their own half. Matt, just while we have a chance, Chelsea in possession, word on Colwell, who's made his Chelsea senior competitive debut today. Your old position?
Yeah, he looks very assured to me. It was a very difficult first half playing left of that back three, because I don't think they quite got it right in terms of being able to handle Salah and his movement and where he should or shouldn't be, and that distances between him and Ben Chilwell. But I really like him, John.
Sanchez has given it away, and the ball played by McAllister to Darwin Núñez, who was the man. He was in the box, but the pass from McAllister was overhit. It was too high. Núñez couldn't do anything with it, just bounced off him through back to Sanchez.
Well, it's a Robert Sanchez moment again. That passing, that decision making when the ball's at his feet, he's got to tighten that up if he's going to have a successful time at Chelsea. You can't afford to make 1 or 2 mistakes like that in a game. But it was wasted from Liverpool. It was a poor pass from McAllister, wasn't it? I mean, it was tough for Núñez to get that down. It was fired at him, kind of hip height, and he just tried to bring it down, and the ball went away from him.
Yeah, Robert Sanchez moment. You did warn against it. Chelsea won, Liverpool won. Sounds like something out of a night in Ibiza, doesn't it? Robert Sanchez moment. As Alexis McAllister takes it on from the centre circle and is upended and yellow card is shown. Jackson has been yellow carded for. Well, I don't know why. Jackson has been booked, but I think that was for an earlier incident. It was Gallagher who put in that challenge, and the referee is just waiting here because there's another change going to be made. Well, there was a yellow card shown in there. Whether that was for Gallagher, it must have been for Gallagher. But Jackson also earlier booked. Next change, and that's Ben Chilwell coming off, so the captain's armband has to move around again. It must now have gone to, yes it has, Thiago Silva. Right. And coming on to replace the left back, so both wing backs are now replaced, and it is another of the summer signings, Leslie Ogachukwu, the French under-19 international, signed from Rennes for over £20 million. In fact, it's a yellow card for McAllister.
Yeah. For dissent, I assume.
Right, there we are.
Because he wouldn't have been happy with the tackle from Gallagher.
Yeah. So scrub out that yellow card.
He must have said something, John.
It's all very confusing. Right, Ogachukwu is on, the number 16 for his Chelsea competitive debut. 5 minutes of added time, that's all. As Liverpool come forward, Szoboszlai's cross low, Elliott was in there, challenge came in on him, and the ball bounces away, but back to Szoboszlai, who is in an offside position, and it's a free kick to Chelsea in their own defensive third.
There's been a few almost kind of desperate moments in this game. We get into that phase where either team are really throwing everything at this, and the ball comes back to Szoboszlai, who's off the pitch, he's beyond the goal line, who Harvey Elliott, who for me has had a really good impact since coming on off the bench. He's stole the ball a couple of times, he's driving forward with it at his feet, but Liverpool are struggling to find that potency that they had in the first half, didn't they? They got the ball in that midfield area, they looked on, they looked ready, the wide players were switched on, the runs were going in behind. It hasn't quite been as good in this second half.
Ogachukwu has settled into a defensive midfield position, the number 16. Another Chelsea attack breaks down, groans because the pass to the edge of the penalty area from Maatsen was easily cleared away. And Chelsea won, Liverpool won. It's altered quite a lot now, hasn't it? With all of these changes, the changes of personnel during the course of the second half. Again, lots of new faces as well, getting used to their new surroundings.
Yeah, and all playing in maybe slightly different positions. Some people are a little bit out of position. It all adds to the kind of element of what this game's been, John, doesn't it? It's been a little bit scatty, a little bit. It hasn't been very measured, has it? It's been a match that's been a bit scrappy.
Yeah, and I think also adds to my feeling that 1-1, they'll both take an opening point from this.
I agree.
We'll see where they go from here. But still lots of questions about both Chelsea and Liverpool, I think, after this. Darwin Núñez has won the ball back, and Núñez is running free, and it's deflected! It's just wide of the dive to his left by Sanchez. That deflection could easily have caused it to drop into the Chelsea net, but it bounced and dropped just wide.
Well, that was a mindset from Darwin Núñez. I'm going to get the ball and I'm going to do something about this. He wins the ball back, he's shoulder to shoulder somebody to the floor, leaves them laying there, turns, and he just drives. He hits this shot. The deflection is an awful one from a perspective of Chelsea, because it very nearly loops over. Was it Sassi?
Yeah, Sassi just flicked off him.
Yeah, Sanchez wasn't going to get there with the naked eye. The far post.
With the naked eye, I thought that was dropping in.
Yeah,
but it's still Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. 5 live in the World Service. Here's the Liverpool corner. Sanchez comes. Well, that's an excellent catch.
Yeah,
that was a good Robert Sanchez moment.
Yeah, great claim.
And he underarms it out, and they're on the move. Jackson still going through the middle. Konate's trying to get there. He's found Mudryk. Mudryk's in. Alisson comes out. He goes round him. The angle's tight. Then back it comes. McAllister in with a challenge, and that was a good challenge on Maatsen, who it seemed was going to get there, but McAllister, what an important challenge that was, back in his own penalty area, and that might have been the moment that won it for Chelsea. They're still coming though. Enzo Fernandez cross, hits the defender, bounces down, and Liverpool should clear Robertson left foot downfield. There we are, into the 4th minute of 5 of added time.
There's Jackson again though, John. What a driving run. He had too much for Konate. He got the wrong side of him, and I thought Konate was just going to pull him back, but he had the strength and the pace to get beyond him Brilliant run from the Chelsea centre forward.
And Mudryk's chance was 1-on-1 from the angle on the left-hand side. Alisson really quickly out, and he tried to go round him to the left, just got a heavy touch, and with that, the chance had gone. Chelsea come again as the ball is swept in low, and Alexander-Arnold coming across, clears it out, left-footed for a throw down the right for Chelsea. I feel that Alexander-Arnold, to my eye, has had a good afternoon. There's been a lot of him coming forward, a lot of him centrally, also back at right back.
A lot more focused defensively from him. I think his positional and where he's putting himself, his awareness of those situations has been good in this game, John.
6:06, just a few minutes away. 08 085 909 693 on 5 Live. But this BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service. Chelsea ball in from the right, though. That's hit by Enzo Fernandez, straight behind into the side netting, the outside netting, for a goal kick. So 1-1, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1, and it looks as though it might well be yet another draw between these sides. 0-0 in the last 4 in League and Cup. The ball from the goal kick, and that is it. That's your 5 minutes, says Anthony Taylor, and it is on as even. Mauricio Pochettino's first match as the manager of Chelsea against Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. It's ended 1-1. Matthew Upson.
Interesting game, John Murray. It really was. I mean, lacked a little bit of structure from both teams. You saw what they're trying to implement. You saw Chelsea. You saw the influence of Mauricio Pochettino on this team, with how comfortable they were with the ball, how patient they were with their build-up, the movement, the passing. They were relaxed in possession. And Liverpool, certainly in the first half, showed that punch, that potency, that directness that we know they can have, especially with the wide players, the runs in behind. I mean, he didn't look enough of a goal threat, Jackson, the centre forward. That real position Chelsea are lacking. But he was effective, John. He really did stretch Liverpool. His runs in behind, every time there was an opportunity, he spun and he wanted to run the centre halves. It's difficult to play against, but they need those goals in the team, and maybe it will come. But a really interesting opening game for both teams.
Yes, Luis Diaz opening the scoring for Liverpool. Axel Disasi equalising both goals in the first half. Both teams had goals disallowed for offside. And in the second half, even though Chelsea had more of it, it is a point apiece to begin the Premier League season for Chelsea and Liverpool. 1-1 the final score here at Stamford Bridge.
A sort of a disjointed promise about both of them, Matt.
A promise from who, Steve?
Well, the promising from both teams. You could see what they're about, and you can see there's something there, but it just wasn't very joined up.
I think that's exactly what it was, to be honest, and I think that's positive. Both teams needed to show, right, we're going to go in this direction. Liverpool are not done. I think they that defensive role, that midfield defensive role is important to them, and they need it. McAllister isn't the player that they want to play in there. They're not going to get the best from him, and that's not his real strength. But you can see what both clubs are trying to achieve. Chelsea, a lot of young players on the pitch in the end, as well as Liverpool. I think that's another interesting direction from both clubs. A lot of youth in the team, but certainly players that need to show and need to impress, and there were some good performances out there this afternoon.
If it's as easy with Liverpool as kind of saying, well, this is the one position that they obviously need, as Jurgen Klopp wanders over to applaud the Liverpool fans, is it that easy with Chelsea, or not to pick out the one or two things they need to do?
I don't think it's quite as straightforward. Don't forget this Liverpool team, a lot of them have been together quite a few seasons, and they've had a manager there for a long time, and they know exactly what he wants. Yes, he's rebooting them a little bit, but I would say that big position, like, it's a big bid, isn't it? It's a record bid. So you think if that happens and that goes through and they get that style of play, whether it is Caicedo or someone else, they need that in the team, and then I think they're almost there. Whereas Chelsea, it's very much trial and error still for Mauricio Pochettino. The one thing I do like about them is that I can see them being in control of possession, Stephen. It was crucial. Last season they struggled to keep the ball. I mean, it really was disjointed, and I didn't see that in Chelsea today. So in terms of style and possession, I thought they were much better, Chelsea.
Thank you very much, guys. Matt Upson, correspondent John Murray at Stamford Bridge, where it finished Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. Earlier it was Brentford 2, Tottenham 2 in Scotland. Celtic won 3-1 at Aberdeen. It finished Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0 and Motherwell 2, Hibernian 1. 08085 909 693 is the number to call right now. Book your call in to speak to Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage on 606, which follows the news with Stuart Clarkson.
Jurgen Klopp's with John Southall.
Jurgen, thanks for talking to us on 5 Live. You said it was the reloaded Liverpool, so what did you make of your reloaded side today?
Okay start.
Crossy.
A good start in the game, to be honest. A really good start in the game. I liked a lot what I saw. Would have loved to extend this period? Yes, definitely. We didn't. We lost 1 or 2 balls in the wrong moment, which gave Chelsea some excitement. I would say like this. But before that, we scored already 2 goals, 2 beautiful goals. One was disallowed. Really close offside, which is fine. We gave them. We opened the door slightly for them to get back in the game. They scored their 2 goals, not bad ones as well. I think we were a bit more involved in their goals than they were in our goals, but fine. 1-1 half time. Second half was now clear. Will become a bit wild. The crowd was now there. Wanted to see the team winning. That makes a difference in a game like this, energy-wise, because it was hard for both teams, really hard. And so in the end, we had our moments, they had their moments. Both teams could have won. It ended as a draw. I think
the goal. I mean, what a great ball from Mo Salah for the goal.
Oh, absolutely. So both passes. I mean, the first one from Mo to Lucho, sensational pass. Yeah. Second was a Trent then for Mo, which was disallowed. But the play there was just outstanding, to be honest. So that's all good. But we have to extend a good period.
One other on Mo. He didn't look massively happy to be coming off. What was your take of that?
Yeah. I understand that. He's a world-class player, so he wants to play. People told me now it's because of he could have scored in the 5th game or whatever. I didn't think about that in the situation. We needed fresh legs. We're under pressure, and we needed to make sure that we get into the game again. We did. Ben came on, and Harvey came on, and Curtis and Darwin. They really helped when they came on. And we had the moments, and we had the last chance, I think, of the game.
You were right behind that, weren't you, as well? Do you think it was sneaking in?
Which one?
The Nunez strike near the end, or right at the end.
Oh yeah, I thought now about the McAllister to Nunez.
Yeah, that was as well.
Okay. Yeah, no, I saw that the one hit the ball too hard and the other one didn't hit the ball at all. So it was the goalie can take the ball. That's what I saw. But it was a good moment, and away at Chelsea, a point.
Yeah, start with the point. Just a quick one on Moises Caicedo. You now resigned to the fact that he's not coming to Liverpool. Caicedo.
I can say nothing about that, to be honest. I've no idea. It's 7 and I didn't get a call or whatever that somebody tells me something like that, so it means I don't know.
Okay, Jurgen, thank you.
Is that frustrating for you guys, as far as putting in a red?
Thanks so much, John. It was John Southall speaking to Jurgen Klopp. Like me, Chris, just says Mo Salah was frustrated. Just got to stop you there because Pochettino, the Chelsea manager's with John Southall.
Here's Maurizio. Thank you for talking to us on 5 Live. Your first competitive game here at Stamford Bridge as Chelsea manager. What did you make of it?
I think very pleased. Overall, the performance was good. I think on then we analyzed the game. I think we deserved to win. It was a little bit unlucky, few actions on the second half. I think only to concede 1 chances and 1 shoot on target to Liverpool. Always is about to be happy. And of course, the beginning was difficult, but I think very pleased with the performance, with the fans. The fans were really good, and yes, they send a very nice energy to the player.
And did that performance have the Maurizio Pochettino stamp on it? Is that how you want your side to play?
No, we want to do better. I think we can do better, and we are going to push the team to try to improve in all the area. But that is only the beginning. Still, we need to work to close the squad. We want to improve the squad. It's a lot of things to do, but. It's only the first game, and after the first game, after nearly 6 weeks working together, I am so happy.
And just a word about your formation today. I think you may have caught a few people by surprise with your three at the back. What was the thinking behind it?
No, we built with three on the back, but after in defensive phase we were four. Was Reece and Levi fullback and Thiago and Disasi. Yes, but always trying to find the best way to provide the good balance to the team. With the injury of Nkunku, maybe we change a little bit the plan. But yes, the most important is the player really believe in the way that the way we prepare and the game plan, and that is the most important.
And just a question about a couple of players. There was no Kepa today at all in the squad, so can we presume he's on his way to Real Madrid?
Like I said before, he asked for permission to explore different situations, and yes, we are at the moment now. I don't know nothing, but for sure, if something happen, the club will inform quick, no.
And Moses Caicedo, any news on him? Is that close?
The same that I don't know nothing. We are working really hard, and different possibilities is the same. If the club have something to inform, we'll inform very quick.
Thanks for talking to us on Five Live.
Thank you. You must be excited about that.
Thanks so much, John. That was John.
He doesn't know anything. He said Pochettino about Caicedo. Do you believe him?
I think he will know, Christopher, a lot of what's going on. But, until things are done, Chris, don't speak about players from other clubs, Christopher. I've learned that.
You should know, yep.
Yeah,
Even at your level.
That.